And we are live. Black Cotton in the building, everyone. Thank you for your patience as I worked out our technical difficulties. We got Patrick Foreman, we got Brian Watkins. Brian Watkins. Brian Hawkins.
How many times we've been on this show?
New alias for me, new alias.
And I didn't mean to blare out Brian's alias online. I apologize for that. I guess I burned that alias for Brian now. But hey, what's going on, fellas? Tell me what's going on.
Working hard. Shoot, man. Been waiting to drop, issue 6, and me and Brian in the interim, we've been working hard on that graphic novel coming out too.
I saw something about that. I think Brian tweeted out something like maybe a photo or something of the cover graphics. Mm-hmm. Did you do that a couple of weeks ago, a week or so ago?
Yeah. It's there for pre-order at comic book stores. And you can pre-order on Amazon now. 4 issues 1 through 6 with some extra content in the back matter. So
all right.
Cool. That'll work.
Covered by Marcelo Henriquez. Oh my goodness. Last name. Santana. I got it shining.
But as you guys know, this is a very special meeting for us. It's always special when we can meet with you guys.
Appreciate
it's a pleasure and an honor. But hopefully we'll introduce the Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever to new watchers. To those of you who this may be the first time seeing us, welcome. This is a space is for Black Comic Lords, and the purpose of the group really is just to sort of educate and promote on black comic books, black comic book superheroes, black comic book creators. They're really sort of undervalued and sort of underrepresented in the industry, and we want to put a shine on that and celebrate that and educate people about the greatness that's out there that a lot of people just don't get a lot of shine on. And there's this tremendous book that we've all grown to love called Black Cotton, done by Brian and Patrick, and they've honored us by agreeing to talk about the final issue of Volume 1, issue number 6. So we've been on this journey from the beginning, and I'm happy to see what's going to talk about what's going to happen towards the end of this first volume. So you guys take it from there.
What questions you got for us?
What questions?
How we do?
Patrick, what questions?
Patrick loves the questions.
Man. What here's the thing. Questions.
Hold on, before we go into stuff, the issue 6 hasn't dropped yet for the general public. So the question is, do folks really want to go into it so we won't spoil anything for people who may be watching who have yet to pick it up? So that's just something to be cognizant of.
Well, this will be a spoiler-free edition to the extent that we can. All right. Spoil it.
Just be.
Lord knows there was a little bit of drama in this issue, fellas.
Oh, hey,
a little bit of drama.
Had to be. I think, and I'll let you chime in, Brian. I think something that we, from the beginning, we didn't want people to be able to guess the end. As you go from issue number 1 to number 6, you know how sometimes when you're watching a movie and it's like, I know where this is going, and then okay, all right, it sort of takes away from the entire movie. So as we were writing this and contemplating and talking together, that was something that we definitely kept at the forefront. It's like, okay, how can we get the message across, but at the same token, make this journey for the people even more enjoyable, especially at the end when they don't see what's coming.
So how far in advance, here's a question I have. You guys decided way back when that you were going to make this book, right? And I'm sure you decided, okay, we're probably going to do 6 issues. When you first started on your journey, did you know how you were going to map things out, or did it just come along as, when you got to issue 3 as an example? Did you say, okay, yeah, we should probably take it in this direction? As a creator, how did you guys address that narratively when creating the book?
I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna let you finish that answer, Brian. What I would say is that Brian is a phenomenal individual. The way he operates, it is brilliant. To be honest, it is truly brilliant. For all of y'all out there who have never worked with Brian, if you ever get a chance, it is truly an experience above none, because the way he structured it, you couldn't go wrong. You couldn't go wrong. So go ahead, Brian.
I mean,
And Brian, when just in case we might have some new viewers tonight, give us some background as to what Black Cotton is.
so Black Cotton is an alternate reality story. Is set in a different reality where the social order of Black and white is reversed, and it's important that it's the social order, not particularly the race, even though they do intertwine. And the story is hinges upon this elitist family, Black family, called the Cottons, named the Cottons, and their Black sheep son, to an extent, who is a police officer, and he tragically shoots a minority white woman, and from there social tensions rise, and there's this political upheaval, and we are in the fallout of that through issues 1 through 6 of the shooting and getting to know who the Cottons are in this world where Black people are the 1%.
So Black people are on top, white people are on the bottom.
They are the majority.
There's a flip.
It is a Black man's world.
It is a Black man's world.
Yeah,
and you have a family.
Black
I
privilege.
liken it to like dynasty. You have this rich family called the Cottons. They're basically the blue bloods of this society, and you have a son who I believe is the oldest son, Zion, right?
Yep.
And Zion is heir apparent to the Cotton throne.
But he don't want it.
Does he decide to go get his MBA at Yale and Harvard so he can go ahead and take over the family business? No, he decides to get a blue collar job as a beat cop. Therefore, turning his back on the Cotton family fortune, tradition, legacy, dynasty, and he shoots a white girl in the course and scope of his duties as a police officer. So I would like to say hilarity ensues, but it does not for Zion. So take it from there. So where are we? What over the course of this 6 issues, what are some of the themes that you guys got to explore?
Well, go ahead and answer that first question, Brian. Did we plan it out?
Right.
Or did it change, along the way?
Yeah, so it was really cool because, we mapped it out. We wrote it in kind of like a narrative form, and then we outlined it. So we knew where the story was going. And what happens is when, we're in there scripting and writing, what ends up happening is, the story itself has a life. And so the choices that you think you're going to make as the writers, the characters in that life, they might say, we need to go this way. So we wrote the outline to where it's a completed outline, but we were aware of the life of the story where it could say, go this way. And so to answer your question, we didn't start writing in like around issue 3. We said, okay, well, let's just switch it up and go this way. As writer, I definitely don't believe in that. To write to a convention, you have to tell the story the way the story is meant to be told for itself. And Patrick, as a creator and writer, was right along with me on that mindset of, what is this story about? Let's map it out. Now, what is this story trying to say to us, and thus say to all the potential readers?
As collaborators, logistically, how do you actually write the story to collaborate with each other? Are you writing it down on a legal pad and then screenshotting it, or is there some shared program that you guys use? As creators, how do you guys do that, working as collaborators?
Google Docs.
Google
Docs. Google Docs.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I was like, Google is a wonderful thing,
Yeah.
I mean, to have that living doc where you can, there have been times where me and Brian have both had the doc up at the same time, and he'll write something and I'm reading it, and then while he's, thinking, I might add something. It's a beautiful concept, and I wouldn't be able to do all of that if, like I said, I've said time and time again, this is my first time. Brian's the one who, has, 15 plus in the industry, and I'm still blessed, that he, shared his knowledge with me, and we were able to, bring this to life, and just, I mean, it's something else. Like I said, to get that on the job training from an expert, you can't really put words into it, because especially in this day and time, a lot of people don't do that, so for him to do that, and for me and him to form this close relationship that we have now, I mean, shoot, man, this is only the beginning. This is phenomenal,
I think that's a great part of your story, is the fact that you guys came together and help uplift each other and make each other better and make the story better and put out this story. My hat's off to you guys for that. I really respect you guys for that. That's why we appreciate you.
So let me ask you this. When you guys are writing, is one person responsible for the voice of a particular character, or is it both of you guys chiming in together at the same time?
It's the latter.
Right.
Like if we took roles or took characters, you would be able to hear our voices. And one of the major things is, for each character to have their own voice. In order to do that, there has to be a unison between he and I. And so no, it's what you hear, what you read, that's what you hear is Zion. It's Kia. It's Elijah. And that's the byproduct of Patrick and my voice together disappearing, so that characters.
Yeah, what I would say is that's where the prep work really is so important. All of the work that me and Brian did from January 2020 to May of 2020, it wasn't writing the script. It was doing the character Bible, mapping out each character. It was defining each character, defining, the places and the message. It was a lot of work done, just, breaking down the structure of the story. So if anybody is thinking about, going into this industry, understand that it's almost like what I tell people with buying a house or buying a car. Your best deal is made on the front end, meaning after you done made your deal, the only thing you can restructure is the interest. If you bought it at a astronomical price, well, guess what? You screwed yourself. So you want to do your legwork before you ever walk down that road. So all of the work that me and Brian did in the back cave, we'll call it, you know, in the black cave. That's what we'll
The
call
black
it.
cave, there you go.
In the black cave, you know, that you're seeing the benefits of that. You know, before we went to Scout, we had done all of the proper work ahead of time. It wasn't like we needed Scout. I'll put that out there. We are grateful for Scout, but since we did our work before, Scout was just an option for us. So do your work. You got to do your work so that you have options and you're not forced in a direction. So
did you guys shop this around to other companies, or was Scout your first and only stop?
Scout was our first and only stop. It really is a great shout out, I'll say, to the creator-owned process and being the owners of your work. And so like it was ours, and we knew the direction that we wanted to go in, and you know, we owned that. So when Scout became an option, we were in the driver's seat with what the story was. You know, what Scout provided us was a home base, you know, their connections, their tools, their editing process, you know, their refinement process. And so what the publisher became for us, Scout, was a refinement process for us that allowed us to take Black Cotton to a different level. You know, Black Cotton would have been a self-published book, and it would have been just, you know, us trying to do everything. Scout brought their brand and, you know, everything that's behind their brand, and it did push us, you know, with deadlines, with meeting with Andrea, editor, with making sure the covers.
Give her whole name. Andrea who?
Him.
No, that's a guy.
Okay, Andrea, what's the whole name?
His last name, shoot, I know it's called him.
Now you just embarrassed them because
no, it's not a breakup. Wait.
Andrea, you know,
he's the shepherd.
Lorenzo.
If you look at look up
I'm in there.
His comic book.
Lorenzo.
Okay.
Shout out to Andre Lorenzo.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm sorry, it started to break up on me. And so like with the process of that, he's the writer of his own book with Scout, The Shepherd. It has a full volume out. And so, you know, going through the whole process, the organization, the business of it really gave us insight into, you know, more into, I should say, the comic book industry. There's a whole separate challenge with self-publishing, but there's also another challenge to traditional publishing. And so we got to experience the challenges of traditional publishing, which is a different frontier than self-publishing. So it was definitely a blessing. It pushed us for sure.
And it was a learning experience for us too, because now going into the second volume, which we're working on right now, well, it's not our first, you know, it's not our first go. So now we're even further ahead, you know, than we were before, simply because we know the road now. We know, okay, here's what we need to do. And now what we're thinking about is, okay, how can we top the first volume? What can we give more to the people so that they are like, have y'all seen the series You?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't say no
spoilers because I'm only two.
No. I'm not, no spoilers. No spoilers.
All right.
What I was gonna say is You is a phenomenal series, right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it is.
But season 3 is off the chain. Whoever
say no more.
Say
no more. Say no
season
more.
3
Every
Say no
time we
more.
get together, spoilers are dropped and feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Say-
So
say
what
no
I'm
more.
saying is that's the mode that me and Brian are in. We're like, okay, volume 1, fire. But guess what? We gotta come harder. We gotta take it to the next level so that people are like, Black Cotton, that first volume, oh snap, but you don't even know. You gotta get to volume 2 and 3 and whatever else we bring.
Do
So
you
let's-
guys know how
let's-
many
let's talk
episodes?
about
Do you
it.
guys
Let's-
know how many issues you want to have for volume 2?
Oh, yeah,
Really,
you know
volume
what?
2 is 2, 3, and 4, and it's 12 issues.
Yeah, it's a
12
12 issue story. It's a 12 issue story arc that we're breaking into 3 volumes.
All right, so let me talk about this because I read issue 6.
We're so excited about this.
I have questions, man, because
You gonna do spoilers?
I'm not gonna
No,
do spoilers.
absolutely
I'm
not.
gonna do
No spoilers.
I'm
Because
not.
that's unfair to people who haven't read it.
Dude, calm the hell down. Jeez,
I'm calm. I'm just saying.
calm down. All right, so I have a couple questions,
Okay.
and this isn't a horrible spoiler. You know, way back, I think it was issue 4. Which issue was the twins
Three.
introduced?
That was
3.
3.
So we have these two twins. They're half Japanese, half Black. And you've already done a backstory in which you've said, you know, the Cottons is this legacy, this dynasty, and there's this other Asian family that has history with the Cottons that these twins come from. This isn't like a spoiler thing, but you introduced the name of one of the guys, the father. You said it was Lu Wang,
Yeah.
right? Now, Lu Wang doesn't sound like a Japanese name to me. It sounds like more of a Chinese name. And then the mother's name is, I forget her name.
Makeda.
What'd you say?
Makeda.
Makeda.
Yeah. So,
But
and then
she's
it got
Black.
these, and she's Black. So we don't know anything about her yet.
Right.
But what I loved about this is not going to spoilers. What I loved about issue 6 is that you get a little bit more of the backstory behind the two families, and you're seeing sort of the animus. And you know where you ended this story pissed me off
Yeah.
because I want to know more.
Yeah.
I need to know what is the backstory between these two. It almost seems like, you know, that you talk about the fact these families go back. Like, we're not talking about within one generation. They seem to have history, like a long time. So it's almost like not only do I want to know what's going on with them now, but it's like you could do a whole nother volume about the Cottons like 200 years ago with this other family. You know, some real dynasty level stuff, man. I mean, I want to know the whole history of what's going on between these two families. Why there's animus, man. And the way y'all ended it just left me so damn thirsty, man. I mean,
Here's
Good.
what
That's
I'll
good.
say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
pissed off. I was pissed off.
Here's
Sorry.
all I'll say. You will definitely in volume 2 get more insight to those two families, you know, backstory and relationship. And I'll say this last thing. Me and Brian had talked about what you had just said. We had talked about that too. So that might be something that we come out with too.
You mean like a spin-off series of the past?
Prequel.
A spin-off series of the past or a flashback?
GOT
Yeah,
did it. Why can't we do a
Who did?
prequel?
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yo, Brian, you
Black
said who
Comic
did it?
Lords exclusive.
I said
Black Comic Lords exclusive.
GOT.
DOT.
Game of Thrones doing it.
Yes, GOT, Game of Thrones. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the things where from the point that the Keshinomis are introduced to 6, it's one of the things where like that really was the plan for Black Cotton the whole time. You know, Black Cotton is not about the shooting. Black Cotton is about the social order reverse in this world.
Exactly. That's what
the story is about.
Yeah.
The shooting is an event and it connects to our obviously real world, and it hopefully forces people to discover their own perceptions. But the story can never just stay with the shooting.
Right.
And the Keshinomis was that door opening to let you know that the world, the universe is larger. And it was already planted in issue 1 when Jalisa was on a plane coming back from Japan.
Right.
So it's one of them things where we were really anxious to get to 3. Then we were anxious to get to 5.
Let me tell you from now, the way you guys ended 6 and giving more backdrop on these 2 families, I really think volume 2, me personally, I get the sense that volume 2 should be entitled either War or The Big Payback, because those are kind of the themes that I got in that issue, man. I mean, wow.
War, Big Payback.
I'm telling you,
War or The Big Payback. It's one of the 2.
When we unveil the title for volume,
there is a title for it.
Oh man, people gonna be like, no, they didn't.
So here's a question that I have. At the very, very beginning, what Paul, just to piggyback on what Paul said in issue number 1, you saw the wife coming back from Japan with their youngest child, Xavier, in tow. How much has Xavier been involved, sitting in the corner, perhaps listening, learning, or whatever, or has he been, isolated back at the hotel while mom is out conducting business? What has been his level of indoctrination into the business as the younger Cotton?
That's a great question.
I think right now he's since we're talking age-wise, he's
about what,
around,
15, 16?
Right, 15, 16. So I think right now he's just an observer, But
is he in those business meetings, or is he elsewhere? How do you guys see it? How is that happening?
Nah, he's not in the business meetings. He's in the atmosphere, in the area, so he sees, but obviously, he's not in there when Jalissa, is doing business, or Elijah is doing business, because that is right now, you gotta think about it. He's under Kia. Kia's the one that they're training.
Yeah.
So right now he's observing, because it's Kia's, it's her world right now. Since Zion, chose not to, be first in line, even though he's the oldest. So right now, everything's, responsibility wise is on Kia, and
Kia's
Xavier.
The one who cleans up all the mess.
He needs to, watch, learn, and also focus on his education.
So real quick, there may be people who are joining us for the first time. Break down the Cotton family, who's who and who does what. Okay,
so we can tag team this. We'll start at the lowest, first. You got it, Xavier, who is the youngest. He's on issue number 4. Yeah, right there with his girlfriend. Zenith. Yeah. So you guys, Xavier, who is he really has his own mind. He's your typical young kid who also, he knows he has Black privilege, but he doesn't want it. He's sort of like right now, I guess you could say, kind of like what Dave Chappelle was talking about, in the closure. He wants to stand up, and say, hey, I want equal rights for everybody and everything. But when, somebody barks back, well, guess what? Now he wants to be Black again and use all of his Black privileges and stuff, unknowingly, because he's a kid. So that's, Xavier right now. He's, he
has the privilege to reject his privilege.
Correct.
Very well put.
So Brian, who's next?
Well, we'll go in order. We have the middle child, which is Kia. And she's you had that middle child syndrome. And the fortunate thing for her though is that you have the oldest who has kind of rejected being the heir apparent. So it's almost like Kia is the oldest child, even though she's the middle child. And she's very much her father's daughter, and she's also very much her mother's daughter, both two strong individuals. And you have to, you can see through her actions that, she respects who the Cottons are as a family. She respects who the Cottons are as a business, and she's willing to live up to that. And right now with, in volume 1, she's been tasked with fixing this giant mess, which is what her story is really about in volume 1, is like fixing this mess. And we only get glimpses of her business acumen, but she's supported by her mother and her father, and she supports them. So she's in good standing.
So she is an employee of the cotton industry, not just a member of the family.
She is the CCO. She is next in line to her father.
Okay.
And his right hand. And so which is why when she goes to talk to Zion in issue 1, she takes the stance that she does. She's about family, so she still approaches him like brother. There's no hatred or animosity. She's direct with him, but it's also clear that she's an advocate for the family, and that's her stance. So she's towing two lines, but her loyalty lies with the bigger picture, which is the Cotton family.
Okay. Who's next, Patrick?
Oh, we got Zion, the oldest son, the one who doesn't want to be a part of the Cotton legacy. He calls himself trying to form his own path. And the thing that I think people should really think about with Zion, the question they should ask themselves is, what has he seen? Because that's something that hasn't been revealed. There's a reason normally why a child would like to remove themselves from the family legacy. So the question is, why did he want to become a cop? Why did he go in that direction? What pushed him there? But right now, he doesn't want anything to do with the Cotton legacy. He tries to distance himself from it, and he's out there trying to, I guess you could say in his mind, make amends by giving back to society. The problem is that he is a Cotton. So when he gets into this situation, this incident where he shoots Elizabeth Nightingale, and all of a sudden he's pulled his whole family into that mess because he is a Cotton. So there's no escaping it. His family has to somehow try and fix this and get themselves out of the news, and also protect their son. And we've seen that countless times. If you got money, what do? They pull all resources to protect their kids or their family members.
How old is he? How old is the daughter?
The daughter, she's 22, around 22.
Oh, wow, she's young.
Yeah, and he's around 27, 28.
Okay. So who's next, Brian?
Jaleesa, named after Jaleesa from A Different World.
You know what? Until this very moment, that never struck me. Okay,
no,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a strong Black woman. And it's important to understand, like, especially
is this Jaleesa here in the middle?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's important to understand that within this American culture, which is what we will call in our reality Afrocentric to a certain degree, but it's not the same because, of course, the reality of us finding our identity versus always having our identity. In this reality, she is side by side 100% with her husband. They're partners. there's no head or tail in the family. They're side by side, and she understands, the role that she plays being by his side, and he understands his role by her side. And so for her, she's a strong Black woman. She's attractive in a very regal way. She's highly intelligent, speaks multiple languages. She's a lawyer. She's power manifested, and she's that way because we wanted to definitely depict the matriarch of the family as a force to be reckoned with.
What's her role in the company?
So her role in a company is that, to be honest with you, she does not have a role like Kia. She's part owner, obviously, but she doesn't play an actual role, position, job title in the company.
So she's not on the flow chart of the company flow chart as
no,
COO or anything of that nature.
No, she has her own thing with her being a lawyer, but she also uses her skill sets and everything for the company. So she has an investment there, but she's not on the payroll. She does not have a title. She has her own thing that is going on.
So she's not even the general counsel of the company.
No.
She's the majority shareholder. So
right.
She owns the company.
Yeah.
Right.
It allows her to move, without the cotton, being, okay, the cotton, when she goes somewhere, it's not that she's representing the cotton
industry,
business,
but the cotton family.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
in a sense, she's their lawyer.
From the outside, gotcha.
Right. Now, that picture right there, I got before we, move on, from this, I got to put this out there into the atmosphere. That's our homage to Regina King. There's a picture of Regina King sitting in a chair, just like that, smooth, in that outfit. And, we think highly of Regina King because she is definitely a woman of many talents, and just someone, we would love to just, we felt that we needed to definitely pay homage to all the things that she's doing. And we would love to one day just meet her and give her a copy.
Patrick, you got a little drool right here.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead and wipe that off real quick.
Hey, yo. Have y'all seen The Harder They Fall?
Man, oh my God!
That's a whole nother hour. That's a whole nother hour.
I might go watch that movie about 2-3 more times. Honestly,
we got.
I'm the only one that haven't seen it yet. Okay.
Yeah, you got Pat, Brian. After we finish this, you got to watch that.
You really got to watch that, bro.
It's on my list for this weekend. It will be done by Monday.
So who's the final member of the Cotton
My
family?
father was a huge Western fan. He's passed now, but I just remember my childhood us watching like the old Clint Eastwood movies, the Man with the Name films, and I know for a fact because this movie, not only is it a Western, it's a Black Western,
right,
with all these Black characters, and then they got the soundtrack. I mean,
that soundtrack!
I watched the trailer for it.
The fact they played like these old Barrington Levy songs. And it worked.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, the reggae song actually works in the Old West. And I'm watching this with Black cowboys in a modern day Western film. And I can't say enough about it.
That's dope.
After we finish with this Black Cotton talk, we need to talk about that movie. We really do. That movie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But Brian, who's the last member of the Cotton family?
That one's on Patrick.
Oh, that's Elijah. The patriarch.
Kid.
Yeah, Elijah. He is obviously, he's the head of the Cottons, and he's the one who is teaching Kia right now. She gets guidance also from her mom, but he's the one day in and day out who actually is teaching Kia, and his role is he's the powerful black
paterfamilias.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's and the beauty about how we are writing him and how he's coming to life is that he's a strong black man, and he's not afraid to let his family know that he loves them.
He's educated.
Oh yeah. He's educated in a different way than Jalissa. Jalissa, obviously, she is well scholarly. She been college and everything. He's educated. He don't have as much, college education as her, but he's definitely educated and he's streetwise too. He understands how to maneuver and get what he needs.
Here's what I find interesting about that is because in this world, the Black folks are the predominant race, and this is an old company based on my understanding of the reading. So the fact that he himself being like a third, fourth, fifth generation Cotton isn't, have an MBA or a PhD or whatever in economics, finance or whatever. And I just find that interesting because in reading him, he does seem like a rough and tumble coming from the streets type of person versus being the heir apparent to this large, mega corporation or whatever. Because, I compare him to like the JP Morgans or whomever, all those people born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Not one of them would I ever think was a streetwise character versus Elijah, who seems to have that demeanor when reading him. How did that come about?
Well, you gotta think about this fact.
Love that question.
Yeah, this fact is where their wealth came from. Their wealth started with farming. Black Cotton. I mean, their last name is, Cotton, and that's actually where their wealth started from. So they didn't start off in, in the white collar section, right, or, stock market. They actually, he grew up, and the message that was instilled in him that was passed on from generation to generation was going back to something that we all know, hard work, and common sense, and having that right mixture. My dad used to say growing up, he was like, people so smart, they don't have any common sense.
Right.
And that's the right mixture that he grew up with, he has right education, but he ain't so stupid that he don't have common sense either.
Right.
He's streetwise because he had to also put in that hard labor. It wasn't just a smooth ride growing up, which is why he also gives Kia that tough love. Like when you see, I think it's in it's issue number 1. You see it, yeah, in issue number 1, he goes hard at her.
Right.
It wasn't her fault, but he goes hard at her so that she can also develop that tough skin so that when she take over, she's well prepared. Ready.
How old is he? How old is Jalissa?
Brian.
All right, so he's in his mid to
early
late 50s. Yeah, late 50s, maybe early 60s, and Jalissa is, I would say mid 50s, yeah. 54, 55. To piggyback on what Patrick was saying, like one of the things that we wanted to do with Black Cotton was not a direct flip of black is white, white is black, to where like it's interesting to me because like, are we allowed to curse on here?
Yeah.
All the fucking time.
Cool. Like, so look, like it's a mind fuck because when you have an alternate reality that reverses race, like one part of your mind naturally wants to just assign what we know, quote unquote, white to be and what quote unquote we know black to be. But what we wanted to do was to take like who we are as a people in this real world, and also have that in what the 1% would be in that reality. So it's not a straight flip of white to black, black to white. So Elijah is that black father, but at the same time, he's 1%. And that's because the structure of this universe is not genetically made up the way that ours is. Like, I would like to think that as a people, if we were never slaves, if we always had our right, we never, we would still have our swag about us. We would still have our coolness. We'll still have like how we view the world. We just wouldn't have the double consciousness that we have. And so Elijah embodies that, where he is from a family that early on worked to create what they have, and the work ethic has never left. What we see though with Zion is a departure of the work ethic. And that's one of the things that we haven't talked about, is that he only sees the liberal side of things, of who his family is. He's not looking at the sacrifices. He's not looking at how hard they have worked continuously, generation after generation after generation, to build this. So it's a mesh of what our world, middle class, low middle class work ethic would be to try to make it, a la James Evans, Good Times, mixed with Blake Carrington dynasty. That's the mix. That's who Elijah is. He's Blake Carrington and James Evans mixed.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Real
a
quick,
real
for those
interesting
people who
perspective,
don't know,
because when you think about it, you have this world where I liked how you phrased that. You said, I would like to think that if our people had never been enslaved, we would still retain our swag, right? Because when you really think about it, what are we really known for? Is we create culture.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that we are always emulated.
Yeah.
Across the board. We'll take nothing and make it into the most incredible thing in the world. We'll take the scraps of food and make an entire culinary, delight out of that. We'll take the most inanimate objects and create jazz and the blues. There's no end to our creativity and swag. So if you take away the history of enslavement, but you maintain that creativity and brilliance to create, that you're creating somebody who would be arrogant as hell. Right?
That's Elijah.
And that's Elijah Cox.
That's Elijah Cox.
Not only do I not have the hindrances of some past where I think I have some level of subconscious inferiority drilled into me by generations of enslavement, I don't have that. I just have the swag of being a black man who just happens to be a 1%er as well. I mean, that's a megalomaniac in terms of just arrogance.
And think about it. And you also carry the thought that everybody wants to be like me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
so I have two questions. Question number one, with Xavier being the rebel, so to speak, not as much as Zion, but somewhat of a liberal rebel, do you guys foresee 15 years from now, after he's graduated high school, graduated college, do you guys view him as going to work for the cotton industry or going to work for a nonprofit? First question. Second question is, from the very, very beginning, going back to issue number 1, I mentioned my favorite character in the whole thing doesn't get enough shine. You know where I'm going, Brian. Does that pay off in issue number 6? Because I haven't read issue 6 because I was at the parade for the World Series champion Atlanta Braves, so I didn't get the opportunity to read issue number 6. All I need to know is, did that pay off from issue number 1 when I first mentioned this? So those are the 2 questions that I have.
First, I didn't know black people watch baseball.
Come on now. Chances are we probably invented it.
The answer is no, Mark. It does not.
But see, my
You
answer
don't
would be
need to know
yes,
anything
it
more than
does.
If you haven't read it, the answer is no, Mark.
See, it's all about perception, Mark, because I would say yes, it does. It does.
Now Brian's trying to do the mind fuck on you right now.
It does. It does. It does. You're gonna. It is a payoff. Trust me.
All right, we'll see. We will see.
I get the feeling, Brian, you're gonna get a very nasty email.
He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it.
Okay.
All right, we'll
It's gonna be written in that lawyer form.
You were just trying to throw him
Tree.
off the mark. And you're trying to throw him off the mark. He's gonna love
So
it.
what about question number 1 in reference to Xavier?
So I was like, go ahead, Pat.
No, you got it.
So here's where I'll start, and then what everyone add to this, Pat. Go for it. We have a great plan for Xavier, a great plan for him and his story trajectory, where he's going. And while I think you can probably guess and surmise some of where he's going, there's going to be parts of his life where you're not going to expect that. You have to understand, of course, who he is, being the youngest. He really, of all of them, he exists in Black privilege the most.
Yes.
But he's the one talking.
Yes.
He's the one talking about it.
Yes.
And that's going to become more of a thing for him as he gets older.
Yeah.
And him, not being in high school anymore, and him being, what part he plays in the family and what part he does not, and who he connects with. So to say, will he be in a family? Will he, what will be his matriculation kind of? Xavier, oh man, I mean, I can't say too much without spoiling what we had planned. What is that, volume?
That's 6.
Yeah.
Volume 6.
Yeah,
You guys are all the way at volume 6?
Yeah. 6, 7.
Keep in mind that volume that this next story is 12 issues that we're going to break into 3 volumes.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. So it's volume. Well, no, it might be volume 5 or 6.
No. Cause remember, he
Don't give away the
he
plot.
he don't come back.
No, it
His
might be
story
5.
don't start until Elizabeth comes back.
So are you guys
Oh
gonna
wait!
keep
Oh,
the same?
Patrick, you just spoiled something.
Come on, man. What are you doing?
Are you guys gonna keep the same format as far as black and white inks in this?
Yeah. Oh,
Or
yeah.
you
Yes.
think- Okay,
Yeah.
so that's just the. Okay.
All right, so let me get to the heart of our night.
Okay.
I've
Go
got
for it.
this. I got this cover up right now
Mm-hmm.
of the Keshinomi, one of the Keshinomi twins. I love this cover. This cover is beautiful. But then y'all created or had created, well, let me just say it this way. There's a new variant out for issue number 6. For issue number 6. We have an artist in this space, Black Comic Lords, by the name of Willie Cordy.
Junior.
Willie Cordy Jr.,
Definitely talented.
who is
Yeah.
incredibly talented. And Willie created a cover for you guys. So give me a second here. Let me get this going. I'm gonna send an invite to Willie. 1 second. Willie, you better be there right now, man.
Yeah, I saw him say something.
He said something.
Yep. In the chat.
Let me get Willie.
Now we also don't forget we have her brother as a variant in issue number 6 too.
How many different covers or variant covers do you have of issue number 6?
2.
How many different covers? So basically what you're saying is there will be 3 covers for issue number 6?
Correct.
The
We
A
got
cover and 2 separate variants.
correct.
Okay.
Willie, great to interact with you.
Willie.
The man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Willie.
and I don't think it's an understatement for me to say, a great Willie Gordy. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, yes,
in the building.
indeed.
I don't think it's a.
Somebody's got their volume up.
Hold up, that might be me. I don't know. No, it's not me. It's one of y'all. All right.
And Willie's mic is muted.
Willie, you got to turn on the mic and turn on your video. Willie's being shy right now. There he is. You got to turn on the mic and turn on your video. There you are.
I'm here. How you doing? How you guys doing?
Hey man, what's going on?
What's up?
I'm pretty good.
There you are.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you for doing that amazing cover.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I can hear my voice and lagging in somebody's video.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out where that's coming from. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's one of you guys.
My voice and lagging in somebody's video.
But Willie, why don't you introduce yourself? Show us some of the works that you've done, and talk about the process of what you did in creating. Willie, why don't you introduce yourself? Show us some of the works while I pull it up. And,
Okay.
the process of what you did in creating.
I keep hearing this echo.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll try to choose the medium that I want to work in, and so it's like my voice is like all over the place.
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't know what's causing that.
It's like the echo in Lock and Key.
Oh,
I
Okay.
started it.
very good. We'll have a conversation.
Yes, we will.
Oh,
I started it.
very good. We'll have a conversation.
Oh my
like
God. that
Hey,
is
check
really-
your
We're in an
phone,
episode
Willie.
of Star
Is your
Trek.
phone
We're doing
volume up,
different-
Willie?
Huh?
Is your phone volume up?
No, that's actually off.
Is your phone volume up, Willie?
Uh, wow, this is really crazy. I don't know what's causing that.
Turn everybody's mic off one at a time, and you'll see it.
All right. Everyone, turn your mics off, except for Willie. Let's see if that fixes it.
Okay.
Everyone, turn your mics off, except for Willie. Let's see if that fixes it.
All right,
Go ahead, Willie.
Can you guys hear me now?
Go ahead, Willie.
Okay, so a lot of times in my process, I'll try to figure out which medium I want to do my work in. Like, so using the back wall, I paint acrylic on stretch canvas. For the project for you guys, I actually did that one in watercolor. But then Paul was sending me these messages, making some adjustments and changes. So I was like, it's in watercolor. It's on traditional watercolor paper. So I couldn't actually make the change on that without destroying the original artwork. So what I did was I scanned it in the computer. I created a couple of digital brushes to match my watercolor brush. And then I went in and made the changes. And so it made it even better so I wouldn't have to destroy the original work. So that's how I did that one. So Paul was like, no, change the flower. I was like, so change the flower. So he's like, no, change it again. So like, so then I changed it again. But it was easier because I was doing it in layers in Photoshop. So
For those people who may not know, we have created, or Willie has created, a variant cover to issue number 6 of Black Cotton. There are less than 300 issues or 300 copies of this variant cover, and Paul will pull up a copy of it right now. That's the actual book right there. I don't know if he's took a picture of it and scanned it so he can share it like he's done other things, but you know, it is a Black Comic Lords exclusive, less than 300 copies out there in the world. One of the most exclusive things ever for Black Cotton that was done for this group.
Yeah, only 250.
Amazing, and it's amazing work. The visual of it, the depiction of it, it's fabulous. It's incredible.
Yeah, I took it to work. Man, people love that cover. They are going crazy. I was like, look, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. I can't give you mine.
Now, what's cool, if you can notice, and I apologize, I'm gonna try and pull up the picture in a second. I'm trying
He's
to find
speaking. He's speaking, but he's on mute, I think.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. So what's cool is if you look really close.
So I was saying I got a chance to paint those 4 wonderful guys in the sword.
What's cool is if you look really close. There's Mark right there, and then there's Richard, right? There. There's myself, and then there's Herschel Lewis.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, all that was painted in watercolor.
Wow.
With the
Man.
Black Comic Lord symbol on the hilt.
All that was painted in watercolor.
With the Black Comic Lord symbol on the hilt.
So cool.
Man.
So we're really looking forward to this. Let me see if I can pull up the actual picture. You guys keep talking about it.
When I get my issues, when I get my copies, fellows, Brian, Patrick, Willie, you and I have never interacted. It's a pleasure to meet you. When I get my copy, I'm gonna want an autographed copy from each one of you guys. So I'll send it to you so I can get my own personal autographed copy. And Willie, thank you very much for doing that. You know, I don't know what you had to go through in creating this process, but you know, what we had to do, me, Paul, Herschel, and Willie, Richard had to do, we had to take photographs and send them to Willie so he could take our ugly mugs and then draw them. I'm sure he broke plenty of pencils and watercolors or whatever, trying to create our ugly mugs on this cover. How did that process go for you, Willie? What exactly did you have to do to create this work of art?
He's on mute.
So when I looked at the images that you guys sent me, I actually wanted you guys to make the actual face that you wanted, so I wouldn't have to just make a change. But I had to make a few adjustments just to make those surprise looks on your faces. I sketched everything out. Then I blue lined it, printed it off my printer, and then I did the watercolor on the blue line. So once that dried and finished, I had to actually flatten out because watercolor tends to buckle after a while. So I usually flatten that back out, wait for a process, a little time process, and then I scan it. Then I went back in and made those digital enhancements that Paul was suggesting. So that's how I did that. And I just want to make sure that you guys were, I guess, like the images resembled you guys, because I wanted to, since this was the first one I was doing with the Black Comic Lords, I wanted to make sure it was popping.
Now, what we see on the wall behind you, Willie, is that your own personal work?
Yeah, okay, so this first piece right here, my family is heavily into martial arts. I help train and coach my son. So that first piece is a picture of me I painted from when I was 22 years old. And then the second one, the two in the middle are two pieces that I just finished for a museum in Gambia. The first guy here in green, that's Sebastian Limba. He was the first slave to start a slave rebellion in 1547 in Santo Domingo. And the one beside it in brown, that's John C. Robinson, known as the Black Condor. He is known as the father of the Tuskegee Airmen. And he went to Ethiopia in 1935 to help them fight against Italy. And then the person on the end, this was not finished. I have to finish that one. That's a Grandmaster Frank Hargroves over in Hampton, Virginia. Dude is it's dangerous.
Grandmaster.
He's a
Do
really
you
good
take
guy.
commissions, Willie?
Oh yeah, I definitely do commissions. I do commissions on all types of stuff. So I'm actually a college professor. I teach at Regent University and the Art Institute of Virginia Beach. I actually teach at all the art institutes. I teach a lot of online classes as well. Everything from foundation art to digital media. I'm the only professor in this area that teaches stop motion animation. So I teach a lot of, I love art. I like to pass it on to the next generation, but I just like to create as well. And then
Hey, that's
If
Pat
people want to
Robinson, right?
reach you, if people want to reach you, Willie, do you have social media, or how can people reach you if they want to do commissions? Reach you, Willie, do you have social media, or how can people reach you if they want to do commissions?
Well, they can reach me on I have several pages. One is like this, my main page is Willie C. Cordy Jr. That's on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Cordy Willie. I also have a Twitter. It's High Creator 1, that's me. And then I have a website, cordystudio.com, and I have my contact information on my website. And you can always reach me through Black Comic Lords. If you forget all my stuff, contact Black Comic Lords. They can hook you up with me. So, and I do other stuff. I have fun doing this cover, and it looks really good in print. That looks dope.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great.
So I don't really like, I do comics, my own stuff, but you know, but a lot of the guys in Black Comics have been asking me to get a hold of my books, but I had been putting some of my projects on hold. But when this came up, I had to jump right on it because matter of fact, I have my black cotton books right here.
Yeah.
And I had a second printing of issue 1, but what I did was I went online and ordered my first printing, because I gotta have my first printing for my collection. I have over 6,000 comics.
Oh wow!
I consider myself a comic historian. So I do different presentations. Currently working on a book on Black representation in comics, and I've done presentations. So I built my reputation up behind that as well.
Okay.
So what are you currently collecting, Willie?
Oh, Black Cotton. That's what I said.
Thank you.
Philadelphia. I read Philadelphia. I'm still an X-Men fan. I like Green Lantern. I like my John Stewart, and DC is finally starting to represent with the Green Lanterns of color. You know, so I read a lot of that stuff. Lately, I've been catching up on my Avengers. I actually read a lot of titles, but I have a bunch of stuff, and some of the guys were telling me that I collect too much. I don't read enough because I'm still playing catch up with a lot of my books. Because like I said, I have over 60,000 comics in my collection, and a large portion of that stuff is geared towards Black representation and diversity, and that's usually what like some of my presentations are on. So I had to kind of pull back from some of my presentations because I have actual stuff in my book that I want to sell my book, so I can't put everything out there. I must say I do have my 2 Ebons, or Evans, depends on how you want to pronounce it. And I must give a shout out, because you know you guys want to get me on this video without me giving a shout out to Black Atlas.
Oh God, here we go.
I had to do that, but yeah, I'm waiting to see what you guys are gonna do next for Black Cotton, because of course I gotta promote myself. So I'm always available for some more work, you guys.
Absolutely,
Let me
brother.
ask you,
That would be
Absolutely.
the shameless plug for Volume 2, the next Black Cotton Variant Edition. Hopefully, y'all can use Willie.
Hey, Cordy.
No doubt.
Cordy
No
has no
doubt.
shame. I'm telling you right now, I have no shame.
So
Hey,
Willie, let me ask you, what
nothing wrong
are
with that.
what are some holy grails for your collection that you want but don't yet have? For example, for me, Incredible Hulk 181, first appearance of Wolverine. That's one of my holy grails. What are some of your holy grails as a collector?
My Evans, I have 2 copies. You know, of course, you guys know there's only 100 copies created, but I have actually two of those. Several copies of Black Atlas, even though I know you guys don't want me to talk about that. But what was it I was looking at the other day? Oh, now my Tribe books. I'm a big fan of Tribe. My boy Larry Stroman. I have a 9.9 Tribe. I got to put that out. I got that 9.9. That's one of the cream of my crops. I actually have a 9.9, a 9.8, a 9.4, a 9.2.
Tribe is what was the most highly printed comic book of all time, right?
Well, I've been talking to Larry. Matter of fact, he called me about a week ago. I'm still trying to convince him to put this next series out, but he's trying to see what he's gonna do.
Man.
Do you have
But
issue
I got
number
Tribe
two?
too.
I only have
No.
issue number 1. I didn't realize that there was an issue number 2.
Of what?
There's issue
Tribe.
number 3 and I think 4.
You want me to show it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second.
This is so cool.
Willie, for those of you who don't know, Willie also mentioned the fact that he has 2 copies of Eben. Eben is a comic book that was created by artist Larry Fuller. It is one of the first, or the first, fully. It was a Black creator created a Black superhero character on a Black imprint. Only 1 issue was made, and there's only 100 copies in the world.
Wow.
It's one of the most significant comic books that you can own as a comic collector, not just a Black comic collector, but as a comic collector. It's one of the most undervalued historical pieces that as a comic book collector you can own, and Willie's got 2 of them.
See, y'all see this stuff back here? I'm doing these Black Panther sketch covers too. I'm looking for it. It's been here somewhere. I just saw it the other day. I was scrolling through some stuff. And where is that?
Where is Willie?
I found it.
Where do he
Searching.
live?
He's searching.
Where do Willie live?
Willie's in, I think, VA.
I think he's in Virginia.
Yeah, I'm in
Did he say
Virginia.
Virginia Beach?
Okay.
Did he say Virginia Beach? He said Virginia Beach, I think.
Yeah, Virginia Beach.
Yo,
Okay,
Pat,
because he
that's
said
your area,
region,
Pat.
and I was like, I grew up in New Light,
I got a lot
which
of
is right
weapons in here.
beside Pat Robinson.
That's your, I'm about to say that's your area, Pat.
Yeah, I know it well.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I have
Willie,
several.
Patrick,
That's
Willie.
the issue 1 you guys have right there, right? But then you have
Yes.
that one as well.
Was that the purple copy or the white one?
That was a white one.
That's white.
Yeah.
Was that the purple copy?
Mm-mm.
That was a white one.
That's white.
That's issue 2.
Okay.
That's issue 2. That's issue 3.
Dang.
Then there was the Atlas. Then there was the Atlas short run.
Oh, here we go with the Atlas. Willie is the world's largest proponent of the Black Atlas.
There's a 0. That was a 0 right there.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I
Wait,
didn't
a
know
0
that
of what? Tribe?
Yeah.
I never knew about a 0 of Tribe
Yeah, I
until
didn't know
right
that
now.
existed.
Yeah. Then they did a Tribe inside this book. They did a short. These beasties, they had some stuff because that's Larry Stroman's art, but they had some stuff in there. Inside this book, they did a short. And then I have the other ones down the hall where I have the variant. I have the 9.9 and the other in my other room. I have those other ones in that says slabs.
So are you interested in letting one of those white copies go? What's up?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I get a lot of times I'll get the doubles and the triples because somebody might not have them, and then they might have something I like, and then we trade. Because that's what I did with Richard when I got the. Okay, I gotta say this: when you talked about some of my other people might not care about them, but Heru, son of Asor, that I got that whole series, and Richard was the guy that got me my issue 2. Other people might not care about them.
So me and you need to talk because I didn't realize that until recently joining this group that there were other variant copies or variant issues of Tribe #1 because I have that black and gold. I want to say I have like 2, maybe 3.
Everybody's
that
got that
gold.
black
Yeah.
gold, black and
I
gold
didn't realize there's a white one and there's also a purple one.
Yeah, I got the purple. I got the purple, but it's more colors than that though. You seen the portrait, the one that I painted of Richard with the panther? You haven't seen a picture with Richard on the cover of the comic book that he be having with him?
No,
What?
no.
Paul, what's going on, Paul?
I don't know, man. I look. I can only admin the page. I can't force everybody to look at everything that's on there.
Yeah, anytime you're talking to Richard, he has it on the wall behind him in the background.
Speaking about what's behind the wall in the background.
Anytime you're talking to Richard, he has it on the wall behind him in the background.
Now I can reveal.
Okay, so look. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Paul. Pull it out.
The Willie Cordy black cotton on top of my other Willie Cordy. The Willie Cordy black cotton. It's kind of far. It's kind of hard to see, but at the top we got the Milestone Returns guys, and we got Brother Voodoo, Dr. Voodoo.
Yeah, I did some. I got a bunch of, like you said, stack of stuff right there. Bunch of sketch covers I'm working on for, a lot of stuff I put on my eBay store or do custom. I do commissions for people at a lower. I'm doing a holiday sale trying to help people out right now because people want to get some Cordy art. So I ain't trying to hit their pockets hard, but I still, like the one I was just doing. You guys saw me painting on earlier. Yeah, I'm almost finished with that. That one's gonna be a little mixed media. A lot of times I'll do like some straight. I got different styles that I illustrate in. So it depends on what somebody's looking for, and that's why a lot of times I tell my students, you never know what somebody's looking for, so you might have to customize it. You say, oh, I want to be a Disney artist, but you might not be able to get on Disney. So maybe they want to put you on The Simpsons or some of the other stuff. So you have to be able to adapt your style. So I change up. I know how to like do realistic stuff or do cartoonish, illustrations, or I have my own comic style. So it depends on what I'm doing. So,
Can you do anime style?
yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I can show. I got all kinds of stuff I can show. I've done like stuff for like when I do these shows. I'll do my anime style art because I have like a big fan base that likes different things. It depends on what type of show I'm going to. That's the type of art I'll take with me.
So you do cons, correct?
Yeah.
What was the last con that you've done, and what is the next con you're going to do?
I haven't really looked at 2022 yet. The last biggest con I did was Tatwater Comic-Con here in Hampton Roads, but I've done some smaller ones too. And to be honest, I've actually made more money at the smaller ones because I had to pay that for one. I had to pay that big booth at the bill at the big con. But everybody knows, like when I go to these smaller ones, I blast it all over the place. And then because I'm in Hampton Roads, I guess like because I know a lot of people around here, I get free press in the news and in the newspaper.
We're glad to do something together. We right down the street, and you right in my stomping ground. I'm from Virginia Beach. I was raised in Virginia Beach.
Oh, for real? Yeah, I'm originally from Portsmouth.
Oh,
I'm in Virginia too.
How far are you guys away from each other?
Even my own comic book series is called City Earth, and it's based in Hampton Roads.
Oh, dang.
How far
are you in Hampton?
Say it again.
Are you in Hampton?
I'm right here in Virginia Beach.
Oh, you in Virginia Beach? Okay, yeah, we about 2.5 from him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally, my mom, I was raised in New Light, which is right beside Pat Robinson,
Well, see, I heard you say about Pat, because Regent University, that's where I teach.
Right, that's what, I heard you say that. And a lot of people don't know, reason, they don't know. But I was like, oh, snap. Yeah.
I just like teaching. I like teaching. I like educating people on their next thing. So I do a lot of stuff. So I was telling the guys earlier, I have my own clothing line called Melanin Born. It's all about the melanin, and I sell it on Etsy right now. I'm waiting for like next year to put out some new shirts, but I have I think like three different designs up there right now.
Nice.
But we all have melanin. Even our brother and sister albino. Some of our brothers and sisters have albinoism. They still have a certain amount of melanin, so everybody can buy my stuff.
Oh yeah.
I got a shirt that said, "God gave me this skin."
No doubt. Oh yeah.
God created this beautiful complexion. I do stuff like that. So I've been designing because I got into clothing years ago, and I used to work in the music industry designing for celebrities. And I used to design for Bobby Brown, TLC, Public Enemy, Nice and Smooth, I used to do a lot of stuff, man.
Nice and smooth. I haven't heard that name in
Hey,
forever.
I still got my nice and smooth tour jacket in my closet.
Well, I gotta see it. I gotta see it. You gotta go in the closet and get it.
I
Yeah,
got
you
on- I got
gotta.
on
Yeah,
long
get
johns.
your
You
ass
guys
up.
excuse me.
Get in the
Hold on, hold on one
closet. I
second.
gotta
Hold
see
on,
that
hold on
nice and
one
smooth.
Oh man, sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's incredible.
basically, you know, people who are watching us now, you've heard that we have a unique, one of a kind black cotton variant cover, 250 issues or 250 copies of this issue that is up on the screen now, created by the man Willie Cordy. So, you know, you guys may want to go ahead and start getting your
Placing your orders, because
yeah,
there's only 250 copies. This is beyond incentive variant. This is a very limited edition copy. We're very proud of it here at Black Comic Lords. I don't know of any other groups that are sort of out here doing this, but it's not something that happens that often. It's very
It's
special.
beautiful work. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Exclusive.
What
And,
y'all
for me and
releasing?
Mark, it's
What's the
cool
price?
because we're on a comic book.
Yeah. Look, Ma,
Look, Mom, on a comic book.
it's a beautiful cover. I mean, it's so well done.
And it really depicts what goes on in Black Cotton #6.
Yeah,
And
'cause
I
I've
love
seen that look on Herschel's face quite a few times.
Really depicts what goes on in Black Cotton #6.
like the look that Takeo is giving the reader of the book right now is just vicious. Like that's how he will look at Elijah.
Yeah.
Like you do not want any of this, Elijah. But Elijah wants all of it though. Like that's how
This,
So
and
for
this
those
really
who-
kind of depicts a scene that opens up in this issue, which is kind of cool.
So Paul, for those who don't know, tell the image that's up, who's who on the image of Black Cotton #6, the variant cover by the great Willie Cordy. Who's who?
The first, I'll use my cursor here. This individual right here is none other than Mark.
That's not me.
That's you.
Nope, I'm #2.
No, you're not. #2 is Richard Wright. You can't make yourself look better than you are.
No, that's me. I'm #2.
You're not, but this is Richard Wright right here. This is me, #3, and this is Herschel. And there is our Black Comic Lords logo right there.
Right. That's I'm #2 because I can show you the picture that I sent. I'm #2.
Okay. All right, whatever.
It's a
If
fight.
that helps you
There's a
sleep
fight for
tonight,
#2.
No. I mean, it's not a fight. It's
Hey,
just
hold
the
on.
fact that
Hold
I
on,
know
hold
what I
on,
look
Mark.
like. I see me every day.
Hey, so Mark,
I see you every day. I respect that. I know myself.
Here's the back cover of the issue with the Black Comic Lords logo on the back.
Oh, so cool.
So I got a question. How'd y'all come up with the logo?
Thank you for asking, Patrick. This logo,
I got a question. How'd y'all come
we came up with the idea that we wanted to have a logo that sort of was centralized on the kid in all of us. And so I commissioned an artist who's here locally in the Orlando area by the name of Sabian T. Willis. Shout out to Sabian, by the way. Sabian is a former animator for Disney here in Orlando. Very, very excellent artist, tremendously undervalued. And I asked him if he would do this, and he did. And he did it in record time too. And we're very, very proud of the Black Comic Lords logo. So we're going to be talking more about the merch that we have regarding that as well. Like, for example, Black Comic Lords shirt,
Boom.
Black Comic Lord hats. It's all coming. Just be patient. We should have it all shortly up. You'll hear more information about it in the next week or so.
Man, hey, that's good stuff. We all
I
going
can
to
rock that hat.
have stuff. We working on our website, the Black Kind Comic website right now.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
We all going.
I saw that you guys had merch on there finally, and I will go ahead and get some of that merch because there was like a hoodie or something that I saw. So yeah.
Scout's website, yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna have merch on ours too. So we're gonna have some exclusive stuff on ours.
Yeah, so you got
So-
stuff on the Scout website right now, right?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Oh, let me see. We can pull it
what
up.
we're doing is there'll be a independent Black Cotton comic website. It'll be
That's what I'm talking about.
blackcottoncomic.com. And it will have some exclusive stuff that you can't, that's obviously through publishing and branding, you know, we're connected to Scout, but on the site, you'll be able to get some exclusive stuff that's not necessarily on the Scout site.
Yeah, hell, Willie might, even, might let us see that, original water. Hell, Willie might,
So Willie, what was it that you were just holding up? What was that you were just holding
That
up?
was the original artwork.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, go ahead and hold that up again, Willie.
So, hold on. That's the zombie. There you go.
Oh wow, that's the original art.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and hold that up again, Willie. Hold on, say something, Willie, so you can be prominent on the screen.
Can you hear me? So this is the original artwork right here.
Yeah.
So I keep a lot of my stuff, like I do zombie stuff too.
Hold on, say something, Willie, so you can be
So
Nice.
Willie, what can I trade you for
changed
that?
it, you know, in the original, like that's why I went back in and did the digital enhancements on the hair when and then I kept adding different things on there with the brushes that I created in Photoshop. So I like to create brushes to match watercolor and acrylic, and then also do it in layers and opacity so you can match that. So those were all the changes, a lot of the changes that I made from the original artwork to do the production of it. Talking back and forth with Paul.
So Willie, I have a tribe number one I can trade that original art for.
Like what?
I have a tribe number one that we could trade for that original artwork if you wish.
I got like 15 to 20 of them tribe number ones. What are you talking about?
So one more, dog. I got one
It's
for
not
you.
gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Even Steven, man, even
It's
Steven.
not gonna work.
15 to 20 of them tribes. What do you have?
Good try.
That's what I have, bro. That's what I got.
So, before I forget,
Good try.
Mark wanted to see the jacket. So I'm gonna say it. So back in the day, in Hampton Roads, back when we was growing up, I was in one of the hottest dance groups out here. So we actually opened for New Edition when they came up with the Candy Grabber. That's how I actually first met Bobby Brown. So like, this is when we were shooting the Huffing Around video. That's me when I was younger. We was in New York.
What haven't you done?
I know this cat been dancing.
This man has lived a life, yo. He has
Some of
lived
them
a
call me
life.
Black Forrest Gump. Because that is.
I know. Yo.
Box is like.
Next thing I know, we'll find out Willie dropped out of NASA. He was an astronaut.
That's me and Bow-Legged Luke from Full Force.
Oh, good Lord.
Man.
So and everybody back then called me Wild Bill. So
I don't even want to know the story.
that's Wild Bill.
wow.
That's Leather. Everybody back then called me Wild Bill.
Nice.
That is
Man.
quite a legacy, man. Like,
Yeah.
like
couldn't
you
leave
got
it in
memories,
in my
bro.
house. My younger brother would have got a hold of that, but I designed a lot of stuff for like Public Enemy. We had the rap style clothing line, so I got still got a bunch of that stuff. I used to give it
Oh,
away.
that's cool.
Wow.
And I heard y'all talking about Regina King earlier when I was watching you guys.
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen her recently, but when we did the release party for the Bobby's Back album in '92, she was coming off of that. She did that, she had did the 227.
227?
All that stuff.
Oh.
So on the train into Universal Studios for the release party, on the same bus with me was Tevin Campbell and Regina King sitting right beside me.
And you ain't get, oh man.
Man, you might have well hollered Tevin ain't one under that.
I'm telling you, that's why I used to tell my nephew and all them, when you young, go out and explore the world, have fun. Don't be out here messing around, help make a whole bunch of babies and all. Have fun, because you want to be able to look back at what you did,
Yeah.
I took my own advice, and that's I just ran, dude. Anytime somebody told me about a job, I was gone. I went up and down the East Coast, across the West Coast. I would come home. My mom was like, "You leaving already? You only been here a week." I'm like, "I found out about another job. I gotta go."
Yeah. That's like Virginia
cool.
just had a plethora of just talent in the area. I mean, I didn't even know at the time, but me and Timberland, we were, at Salem High School, together. And then I was blessed to freaking meet Teddy Riley. I got to actually sit.
I did work with Teddy.
Huh?
I designed some stuff for him too.
Yeah,
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yo. So check this out. I used to work at the IHOP. Was it the IHOP or Denny? It was IHOP.
The same thing.
It's right down from his studio. So they used to always call and, place their orders and come get it, right? So they just kind of, they like, yo, the redhead kid, and next thing I know, my boy used to cut hair at Triple Play. So I would go, and that's where Teddy Riley used to get his haircut and his car detailed. And he got his dogs from Jody. So all of a sudden, Jody was making music, and he just took to me. And next thing I know, he would make the music, sell it to Teddy, and that's how I got to go. When he sold the music to Teddy, we would go, and then we would sit there and just watch Teddy do his thing, and it was amazing. And that's when I really got, sort of, insight to the music industry, and I was like, wow, this is.
There's a lot of talent in Virginia that went through Teddy's studio.
Yeah.
You remember?
Hey, Willie, wait, before you do that, see if you can mute your Facebook, because I think that's where the echo's coming from.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Hold on.
Wait, before you do that, see if you can mute your Facebook, because I think that's where the echo's coming from. Yeah, just close that out and just look at the Zoom.
Yeah, it was me.
There we
See,
go.
I
Thank
knew you
Derek,
were
for
on. That's why I said your phone, because I was like, remember I said
my
Willie
phone was off, but it was on the computer. I forgot the computer was
it was
on.
on the computer. Okay, because I was like, he was typing.
I'm
saw
blaming
him make a
that on
comment.
Paul. I'm blaming it on Paul. Because he's
Of
supposed
course.
to tell me to make sure I turn that off.
Of course, it's my fault.
Man.
I'll take the L.
No, but it's crazy because remember when Salt and Pepper and Vogue did that song, What a Man?
Yeah.
Remember the background?
Yeah.
The guys were doing it was a bunch of guys in the background singing.
Right.
That was my cousins. They get a group called 3 Feet from around this area too.
Oh,
In
wow.
that video.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I had a lot of
That's
family in the music industry also. Like we signed with a deal with Bobby. We were basically coming out the same time that Michael Bivins had Boys and Men.
Gotcha.
But MCA put a hold on Bobby's album actually, and so they put a hold on the production, and that's when a lot of stuff fell off. I left there, went to New York. That's when I hooked up with Public Enemy, and then when Bobby got his stuff rolling back, because basically he had a really good album that they made, but MCA wanted him to use some of his previous producers like Babyface and stuff. So he had to basically put that album on hold. And then they did the Bobby's Back album. They finished the Bobby's Back album. That's when they came to New York. Then they knew I was in New York, so they looked me up, and that's why I ended up working on 2 of his videos. So it's crazy when you do stuff. The community is actually really small. So when you meet different people, whether it's comics, music or the comic industry, it's actually small too. So
This is see y'all. This is why I wanted to bring Willie on, because on top of doing this incredible variant cover for Black Cotton 6 for us, Willie is just an interesting dude. I mean,
Man, his story.
Willie's past history is the history of Black pop culture,
Yeah.
and that's not even an exaggeration to say that.
It's not,
Even
yo.
really say that.
Right.
yeah, it's crazy because
He is literally the Forrest Gump of the Black
yeah, because
community.
I've had
How
an
old are
airplane accident. I survived that. God is good. I've had a car accident. I'm still here, and I'm doing even more art than I was doing before because I always want to get back to more of my traditional art.
How old are you, Willie? Willie, how old are
Actually,
you?
my birthday's this month. I'll be 56.
Wow.
But I know I look good.
With that. Well, oh, man, Black
Hey,
don't crack, bro.
Black don't crack. But DA
Don't
got it
crack,
going
bro.
on. But
Black
yeah,
don't crack.
I like doing what I do. And people used to always tell me, man, don't do art, man. You'll be a starving artist. I hate that term, starving artist. So I always wanted to make sure I can get my foot in the door. So I just want to say anybody that's creating, because I heard you guys telling people, to stay diligent and to keep working and follow your dream stuff. But as an artist, I want to tell people also just don't let anybody dictate your dream. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. So even when I went to school for the first time, I got my first degree in art. I had each professor I had was telling me, do this, do this, do this, do this. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it all because I don't want something to slip between my hands and be that starving artist. So, but you got to believe in yourself too.
That reminds me, Patrick.
What's up?
Patrick Foreman, I'm talking to you. Go to college, go to law school. No. This is not a joke. You mentioned during our last conversation that you were interested in being a lawyer. Okay. Go to college, get your degree, go to law school. You don't want to be 75 years old thinking, I wish I would have. Okay. I'm a huge proponent of living life. Don't ever have any regrets.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's something that is a dream of yours, do it. It's that simple.
Yeah, there's a guy who Mark and I went to law school with, a few guys actually. One of them, I think Mark had mentioned before, it was a doctor who was a former U.S. Air Force colonel and pilot. So he's a doctor, he's a pilot in the U.S. Air Force, and he was going to law school. And he was, we went to law school with a guy who had already been in business. He was like 60 years old and said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and go to law school. It's never too late.
The last time that we talked,
never too late.
The last time that we talked, Paul was like, yeah, whatever, law school, blah, 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 lawyers suck, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine because this is something that we do. But honestly, real talk, if that is a goal and an aspiration of yours, follow that dream.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
You know personally that I've hit you up a couple of times and said, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Have I not?
You have.
Okay. If being a lawyer is a dream and aspiration of yours, I'm telling you now in front of everybody who's watching, go to college, get your college degree, use that GI Bill.
Use that GI Bill. That's what it's there for.
Use that GI Bill that I'm sure you've got, and then go to law school. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say this because Mark is not lying. You don't want to look back and say, I wish I would have, should have, could have. That's why I've done so much stuff, because I'm like, I don't want to have any regrets.
Right.
To be honest, how old are you right now, Patrick?
Shoot, 47.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let me tell you. Okay, so I'll be 56 on the 22nd. Now, I've done all that stuff in the past in the 90s. I designed for the 96 Olympics, Major League Baseball, all that stuff, right? But when in 2000, I was a father. I had a little boy. I went back to school, and if you look at my website, cordystudio.com, you'll see my education. I finished school with an A&P license. I went to work for ASA Delta fixing airplanes. Okay. My first year, I got the bronze award for safety. My second year, I got the gold award for safety for putting the plane back in the air that they condemned 3 times. Shortly after that, I was supposed to go. They were sending me to different schools like avionics and stuff, but then I was supposed to go to Canada to a CRJ school to work on these regional jet engines. But one of my lead mechanics said he forgot I was under a plane, hooked up a tug and towed it and ran me over. Damn. I had cervical fusion. Hey, look, you can see the scar right here. I had a cervical fusion. I had 2 discs crushed. All right, titanium plates and screws in my neck for life. I was healing from this. Moved back to Virginia. I sued Delta. I came back here and I didn't want to burn up my money, so I went back to one of my old jobs designing. And I was a single dad, so I raised my son by myself. My son was like 4 years old back when we came back to Virginia, and I was going to pick him up when they had, how they do schools do early release. Pick him up. This lady reared at me at the stop while I'm still healing from this. Put me back in the hospital. Second spinal surgery. Can you see that?
Damn.
I'm still here. Never, and listen when I say this, it's never, let me tell you what I did. I had my associate's degree from the Art Institute of Atlanta years ago, and I've been doing all that stuff under that. I went back to school. I applied to Norfolk State, went back to school in 2008 after I started healing. I finished, they told me I needed 2 years for my bachelor's. I doubled up all my classes. I did my bachelor's in 1 year, graduated magna cum laude, got my application for grad school. I did a double master's, and now I'm teaching. So I'm telling you, I did that in my 40s. It's never too late, Patrick. I did that while I was hurt.
Hold on,
you can do
Come out. Patrick,
go ahead.
Patrick.
You can do this.
Patrick, you've said this, okay? If that is something that you want to do, no bullshit, don't listen to anybody else. If that is a goal and aspiration of yours, do it. Life is too short. Okay.
And it's America. You know how jacked up it is in America. You gotta get what you gotta get.
Bro, and you got all that black cotton money now too. Go ahead.
Hey, look.
Go ahead, spend it, bro.
Patrick, my dad worked a lot. He did like 3 jobs or whatever, and went to night school. I remember when I was a kid, him coming home late at night because he's going to night school for college, because that's, we're Jamaican, so education's like everything to us.
Right.
And that I've just always remember my childhood. My dad was always in school because he wanted to get his bachelor's, and then after he got that, he got his master's, and he'd always work, but he always went to school. He was always in school. And one of the proudest moments I had was seeing my dad get his PhD. He got his doctorate in education. And going to his graduation ceremony. And I've already graduated college and law school at this point, and I'm going to my father's graduation. That meant more to me than anything else in the world. And the thing is, Patrick, he wasn't the only one. There were a lot of other people his age going back to school, getting their advanced degrees. And what he did with that, he went and he continued to be a college professor. After years of working in the Internal Revenue Service and Florida Revenue Service, he just went and became a college professor, which is what his real calling was.
Hey.
And that's what he did for the rest of his life. He just college professor, and he was never happier than being a professor. So look, man, if you want to go back to school, by all means do that. I joked before about don't become a lawyer, because actually most lawyers always say don't become a lawyer. Our lives are horrible. But the reality is, it is a great education. I have no regrets on going to law school. I encourage everyone who wants to do it to go ahead and do it, because it's a great education that it can be used for a lot of different fields and a lot of different things. You can go to law school, graduate, and never step into a courtroom, but the education will be there forever and is applicable to a lot of different scenarios.
And that's my
And at
thing.
the end of the day, you said that you want to be a lawyer. Okay.
Well, see, here's what I'll say, because Willie might not know, but y'all know, I'm part owner of a magazine called Returning Citizen Magazine. So I'm constantly, assisting incarcerated individuals or individuals who were formerly incarcerated, justice involved individuals or the family members of justice involved individuals. And my thing is, all throughout, we started this in 2018, all throughout this walk, there's so much information that we don't know. And the problem is, we as a culture, I feel we're taught wrong. I feel we were all taught, hey, you tell the truth. You tell everything to the cops, and all of a sudden, the other culture, they were told, you keep your mouth shut and you wait for me to get here, And now we have this institution which wasn't built for them. It was built to house us. And the problem is, we don't know how to play the game. Yeah. They know how to play the game. And that's what I want. I want the information to get to us so that we can equip ourselves to play the game.
Patrick, do you have any college behind you while you're?
Yeah, I got college behind me. I got over 2 years of college.
Okay, listen. It doesn't matter what you get your degree in. It literally does not matter.
Nope.
Okay, basket weaving, whatever. It doesn't matter.
We had people in law school that had degrees in biology.
At the
end of the day, Patrick, they don't care.
It doesn't matter what you get your degree in. Go ahead, get your degree, take the LSAT, and go to law school. You expressed to us about 2 months ago that being a lawyer was something that you wanted to do. In life, you don't want to have any regrets. Okay.
If you have any questions about the application process, doing the essays, how to study for the LSAT, once you get to law school, how to study for law school, we're here, man.
And that's what I love about this. The community of brothers and sisters, I'll just say, you know, the community of like-minded individuals who actually come together and also assist each other. And
That's what's
that's
up.
what we need more of. We need more groups that actually come together and work together to lift up the entire group, you know, to another level. That's why I can't wait till Black Cotton website really, you know, launches, because I'm telling you right now, Brian don't know, we're going to talk about it Sunday, but we're going to have a members only section where we deep dive, not just into the comic book world, but just like what y'all are talking about and what we talk about here, you know, just like Willie, you know, that good knowledge that people need to know. And we're going to create an atmosphere, just like what we did with the Black Kind comic book. We're going to create an atmosphere for growth, where people can actually grow. Because guess what? That's what we're gonna do.
That
That's
sounds
what we
a lot
need.
like Substack.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, can you tell me some what's that magazine about now?
Returning Citizen magazine. It is basically, it assists individuals who are incarcerated transition back successfully back into society. So the beauty about it is I'm a retired career planner in the Marine Corps, and throughout my entire 25 years, what I notice is that you got to move the timetable back. If people don't have time to actually get the knowledge and implement the knowledge, then you're setting them up for failure. So what we do is we get the knowledge to them. We let them know the programs that they can actually do while they're inside to assist them on the outside. We let them know about jobs that are available in different areas. Our magazine, we were digital. We made a decision to go digital in the first year, which was a smart move because we didn't know COVID was gonna happen or anything. So basically what you had was individuals would normally go inside the jail and give the information. Well, since we were digital, when the jails got locked down, all of these institutions were like, well, how do we get this information, you know, to the incarcerated, since we can't let people inside? And all of a sudden we really blew up because we were digital. So we just went straight to the tablets. And now the individuals, they understand organizations that are out there to assist them. They understand where the jobs, they understand how to do their resumes, how to speak in interviews. They understand, okay, programs that we can, you know, take advantage of, and what's the criteria to actually do these programs so that we can get certified before we leave. Also, when do my timetables start? When should I start preparing to transition? Because there's a laundry list of things that they need to do so that when they get out, and here's what society really doesn't understand. When the individual gets out of jail or they get out of prison, you got two things. They either are leaving with all time served or they got probation parole. Well, as soon as they walk out that door, guess what? They got to go to probation and parole. The time is clicking, it's ticking already, which means that, okay, when they get down there, society's already saying, hey, where you going to live? You got food? Where you going to be employed? All of these things that they have to take care of. So the stress is huge.
Yeah.
If you haven't had the time or the knowledge to implement those things before you get out. And you wonder why recidivism is high. It's because of poor preparation. It's not on their part. You know, you can't put it all on them. It's because the institutions aren't doing exactly what they should be doing. You have to actually give the information to them in a timely manner. And the system wasn't built for that. So you have, what you have is, you have some institutions that operate well, and then you have other institutions who have a mindset of, hey, you're just criminals.
Yeah, we could, because I'm gonna tell you, man, I get into a lot of that with you, but I got a friend of mine, I haven't seen her in a few years, but I'm gonna see if I can find her, try to hook you up with her. Maybe you might be able to do something with your magazine. She used to be in the Innocence Project in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Start heading up some of that stuff back in the day. But I haven't talked to her in a few years, so I can see if I can find her though. But I like right now, because I teach at Regent and at the Art Institute, but in 2018, 2019, I was teaching public school as well. I was teaching both those schools and public school. And I left public school because I didn't like what I saw. Like, I hands up to the teachers, because I'm telling you, they got a lot on their hands. But one of the problems I feel, and I know you know about this, because it attaches itself to what you're doing also, was that school to prison pipeline.
Oh yeah, school to prison pipeline.
Now me and Paul, we done talked. You know, we talked about money and stuff. I had money flowing, but I had to let that job go. I could not keep that job knowing what I know and then being part of the problem. Like, I have students that, different, everybody's different, and especially when people come to our community, we know how to deal with them, right? So we get them on a certain playing field. We get a critical rapport with them and their family, and we can move from there. So anyways, when kids have these different issues, everybody's too ready to write them up, write them referrals. So when my kids learn their lesson and will start to straighten out, I tear my referrals up, because I ain't want them to go through that, So it's like, Cordy, where's your referrals? I'm not sending them kids through that mess. I'm not helping them fill up that file. So I had a lot of kids that was straightening out, but they kept sending new paperwork, more paperwork to just keep writing them up. I'm like, I'm not getting paid to do that. I didn't come to public school to do. I came to help kids, not to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't be caught. I had to take myself out of this situation, because I was getting mad almost every day. I had a good time with the kids and a lot of my people I work with, but I couldn't do that.
Real quick, gentlemen. Hold on one second, Brian. In the comments of this chat, a lot of people have been wanting to get in contact with you, Willie. What are your Etsy, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Substack, whatever? Real slowly, tell people how they can get in contact with you through Etsy, through Instagram.
Can you write them in the chat too, though?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, he's write them in the chat too.
I see his website in there. And I had asked about your Instagram, and
I sent you a message too. I was like, send me all your.
I was talking. I just noticed.
Right. So go ahead and say everything that's out there, Willie. What do you have?
Okay, so on Etsy, look up Melanin Born merch. I'm gonna put it all in the chat. But it's Melanin Born merch. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it's Melanin Born merch on Etsy. So my Instagram is my last name first and then my first name, Cordy Willie. My Facebook main page is Willie C. Cordy Jr. My website is cordystudio.com. On Facebook, I have a Melanin Born apparel page. I also have my City Earth fan page, and the word fan page is spelled out, is City Earth fan page, which is my comic book series. What else do I have? Oh, my Twitter is High Creator 1. Because when it comes to art, other than God, I am the high creator. Oh, and I had thought about something that you asked me earlier, so that's why I ran the other room, when you were talking about like my holy grails.
Oh man, no.
Yes.
I want that so bad.
Me too. So I treated myself to this in 2018 as a Christmas gift. I paid, I think it was like 200, I'm all right, maybe, 210 with tax and all that stuff.
That's it?
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, looking at this, it says a 4.0 on there, but I'm telling you, this book looks way better than that.
So what's the significance of that book?
Okay, so basically, 1953.
Go ahead and tell him. Go ahead and tell him, man.
So in EC Comics, they had this story called Judgment Day in this book. In Judgment Day, basically, if you look at, and I always say this because it predates Star Trek. And the reason why I say it predates Star Trek is because in the story they talk about a federation, basically what Star Trek became later on. And
but they brought it back with Deep Space Nine. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's my show. I watched that.
I love Deep Space Nine. Love it.
That episode comes from that book, man. I tell you, it comes from that book.
And in this story, they show at the end of the last, they go through this whole thing where they sent these robots out in space, basically, and they was trying to see if they would learn something different than what was being done on Earth, right? So they had these orange robots and these blue robots, and then they actually segregated themselves, and they was hoping that they didn't, but they did. And the blue robots looked, I think it was the blue robots looked at the orange robots like they were less than them. So basically, it was looking at racism on Earth in blue and orange robots. Basically, so when an astronaut arrives, he's trying to see if they've learned to work together and to come together so they can bring them into the Federation, right? They didn't learn any lesson because they were some there were hierarchy. There were some people that thought they were, robots thought they were better than the other ones. So basically, he leaves without taking them in. But the last panel is the significant part. He takes off his helmet, and it's a black man.
Yes.
Now, the big fight came in the company where they didn't want to put this story out there because they felt like if people, this was 1953, people would see this, they would think, oh, they don't want to see the first people that see in space, as being black. But then at the same time, when they decided to, after going through all the argument and they were going to do the story, then there was another story. There was another fight. And that was because, okay, the sweat beads on his face, when he took his helmet off, it made him look like celestial being because the stars in space behind him resembled the sweat beads on his face when they showed it in the shadow. So that was the other fight. So a company that was known for making anti-racism stories had racism. So when I sought this book out, I was like, yo, I gotta get this book. And everybody anybody that does comic history, black comic history, always refers to this book. And I'm telling you, they have like the reprints out. But if you get your hands on one,
no, I don't want to reprint. I want the original.
don't let it slip by.
I want the original. Brian,
Hold on.
you're a Star
What
Trek
number
fan,
is
right,
that?
Brian?
Weird Fantasy number
This
what?
is issue 18.
18.
Issue
Brian,
18,
you're a Star
Weird
Trek
Science
fan, right?
Fantasy, issue 18.
I
Now-
am. I'm not a historian, but I am a fan. Yes.
All right. So there's an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, with the half black and half white.
Not that one.
Oh.
There's an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine in which Captain Sisko, the black captain, has like, I don't know if it's a dream or a out-of-body experience or what have you, in which he is transported back to like the 1950s. And he's a writer for a pulp magazine. The pulp magazine did science fiction stories for the most part, right? Fantasy stories and science fiction. And this is the 1950s, pre-civil rights era. And he writes this fantastic story about basically his life.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
Where he writes a story about a space station in the stars, where all these different ships would come and people from all these different planets, but it was run by a black man. And it was a great story. Everyone in the offices, the bullpen of the pulp magazine said, "Man, this is one of the greatest stories we've ever read. I mean, this is fantastic." Even the publisher is like, "This is an incredible story.
But
I can't wait to publish this." However, you need to change the character and make him white, because we don't need to have, we don't need the outcry and the backlash for having a black character be the head of a space station out in, he's like, and so Captain Sisko's character is like, we write science fiction, we write fantasy. You're telling me that we can't have a future where a black man can't be the head of a space station in the future? No, our readers won't believe that. It's science fiction.
Yeah.
but you know what else is significant about that? So like when I do my presentations, because I love that, I'm glad you brought that up, Paul. When you look at
that Weird Fantasy 18 was, I believe, the basis of that episode.
So yeah, when you look at this and you look at that story, what also is significant, like in my presentations, I talk about not just comics, but sci-fi and the significance of this book and what we have now with real black astronauts. In original Star Trek series, everybody knows about Lieutenant Uhura, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many more black actors and actresses that had speaking acting parts, not extras, but speaking acting parts?
There were actually quite a few. They had the Commodore.
13.
Yes.
Black.
Look, Star Trek was woke before woke was even a term. They had a lot of really good black actors on that series. The guy who created the computers on all the starships who was considered one of the smartest men in the Federation, was a black man.
So yeah, that's what I was getting to. So I'm gonna tell you, and this right here also has a relationship between Star Trek and Blackula. So
What?
Yeah.
So the actor William Marshall.
Blackula, yeah.
You're gonna have to explain that, Willie. You're gonna have to explain that.
William Marshall plays
Blackula.
No, hold on. Let me get to it. Let me get to it. So we're going back before Blackula. So William Marshall plays. So if you look at Star Trek, the whole Star Trek lore, everything, all the science stuff, it goes back to the Daystrom Institute.
Right, the Daystrom, Professor.
Yeah.
Daystrom.
So William Marshall plays Dr. Richard Daystrom.
Yeah.
A black man who creates all this science and they have the institute named after him. And every time they have something in Star Trek, they refer to the Daystrom Institute, which refers back to the
most brilliant cybernetic guy in all of the Federation.
Yeah. So then that was in 1967.
Right.
In 1970, was it 72? 73, he plays Blackula. Same guy, William Marshall, plays Blackula. Right? He does it again the following year, Scream Blackula Scream. 1 month later, Marvel comes out with Blade, Tomb of Dracula. 1 month. So you tell me that none of that stuff is related? Get out of here. That's some of the stuff that you'll see in my book. Mad stuff. Mad. Did you know that the movie Logan's Run?
Yes.
Had only one black actor. Well, they had extras, but it had one black actor, but you never saw his face. He was the character Box. The robot, he was Box. A lot of, when people talk about Star Wars, there's no black people in Star Wars. There was one. They forget about Billy D. Williams, but then on top of it, they forget about the voice of Darth Vader, James Earl Jones.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
What? So yeah.
And James Earl Jones lost a lot of money on that decision.
Yeah,
they wanted to give him stock in Star Wars, and he was like, nah, give me my money. Black people.
but at the end of the day, like, that wasn't necessarily a movement of like IP and ownership as much.
Right.
He wanted to get paid for it because he didn't know how big it was going to be.
Yeah.
But
nobody knew how big Star Wars was going to be.
No,
it's all about foresight.
Who was it? Was it Magic Johnson, who also could have had stock in Nike?
Was it? Well, because Michael did that well.
Yeah, Michael went all out on that.
Because up there, I think, and just like Michael Jordan almost missed his moment because it was what was it? Converse. That was the big thing, All-Star.
I remember reading something about that.
So he wanted that, and
but
kudos to his agent. He was like, look, just sit down with these cats.
I think didn't they say something about, I think what brought him in was like they gave him some like influence on designing, or like that they would add like a logo onto it, and Converse wasn't going to do that or something. Yeah,
and it like was like, and they gave him, this cat pulling in $250 million a year.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Michael Jordan is straight. Hopefully he's straightening out some of the harm he did. Like, he made some good decisions, but the only thing that turned me off from him was that he had stock in some of these companies that had stock in private prisons. That hurt my heart.
That wasn't the same Michael Jordan. I remember that coming out. That wasn't the same Michael Jordan. It was somebody else. It was a white dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It was a white dude. It wasn't the same Michael Jordan. Because I remember that story coming out.
Give me some documentation there, because I need to see that.
Yeah.
Willie's had 30 years of animosity. Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the same Michael Jordan.
Because this is significant.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first one.
I need that in my collection.
But you can't have this without that.
You have the wizard cover?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I can't. Okay.
Willie, I'm gonna need you to send me your address and for you to leave the house.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I got booby traps around here. I got all types of can I say weapons all over this world? I'm just saying, you got to come through a maze. It's like going in Tomb Raider, or what's Tomb Raider, because you got You got stuff popping out all over the place. I'm just saying.
Hey,
By the time you get to the vault,
clearly it's worth the risk. Clearly,
I
it's
don't
worth
know,
the risk.
man. Many people have said that going up against my son. Now, I coach my son, and many people have said they're going against my son. And at 13, my son was actually fighting 33-year-olds in black belt tournaments. It's like a black belt camps. But as an 11-year-old, he had to fight 17-year-olds because nobody could deal with him. We went to the World Martial Arts Games in 2013. He was the only one on the team of 74 competitors to do full contact. Came home with the silver medal in the World Martial Arts Games. I'm just saying, don't come here, man.
I can take him.
Don't come here, man.
All right, check it. We've discussed the comic books. Everybody who's now who's been watching us knows that Black Cotton #6 has a very special limited run.
Show it again.
Variant issue #6, created by the great Willie Cordy. During the course of this conversation, we have discussed something, and Brian, you may want to go ahead and mute your microphone and just go ahead and lead the conversation, because we talked about The Harder They Fall, which is a movie that is on Netflix right
Who
now.
hasn't seen it yet?
I haven't yet.
Oh man.
Man, I watched that thing early in the morning.
Willie, Brian, go
My
ahead and
schedule
sign
hasn't
off,
allowed me to.
because we've talked about comics. We've been on this chat for 2 hours, exactly 2 hours. Okay.
So at this point, I guess I have to leave you guys.
Yes.
How about I leave? Here's what I do. I'll leave you guys and I'll go watch it. How about that?
Yeah, go ahead and do what you got to do and watch it. But
Hey,
those of you
before
guys
you get your
who
black
have not
card
seen
revoked.
The Harder They Fall, go ahead and leave this chat, leave this everything.
All right.
Because that movie was hey, Brian, you and I will be in conversation very soon. Willie, it's very, very nice to meet you and interact with you. I appreciate it. Great artwork. Patrick, get the education, go to law school, because that's something that you said that you wanted. Okay. I'm serious about that. As you know, I've hit you up privately about that very issue. Have I not?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Get that
I
education.
can recommend to you, Patrick. There's a law school here in Orlando called the FAMU School of Law, College of Law, the Florida A&M University College of Law. They cater specifically towards people that are going back to school, older individuals, people that want to go to night school. They work with you so that you can attend law school on your schedule.
And I'm sure that there are places like that in Virginia where you live. But at the end of the day, get that bachelor's and then apply to law school. And, don't let anybody deter you from that, because that has been a dream and aspiration of yours. You admitted that about a month ago during our last conversation. Okay. I'm going to consistently encourage you to do that, because that's something that you said that you wanted to do. Yes.
Yes, and I think that's a word for all the listeners out here, especially, this video is going to be shared. Don't let anything stop your dream, and if you surround yourself with the right people, then what you'll see is that the people that are in your camp, that are in your circle, they're either going to do one or two things. They're either going to hinder you or they're going to uplift you. And if you got the right people, then you got people who are going to breathe, encouragement into you. And those are the ones that get you over the hurdles and over that hump that could be, or that obstacle, I'll say, that is stopping you from being the best you. So I appreciate y'all, brothers. I really do appreciate you. And, I'm hoping that those words just aren't falling on my ears, but falling on all the listeners, and those seeds are also falling into their hearts and getting them over that hump. So I appreciate you,
No problem. Yo, first off, I know you were a Marine and you probably didn't have to graduate high school when you went to the Marines. So go ahead and get your GED first. Get that GED.
Now, Patrick, you don't bargain the Air Force guys.
Go to graduate, go to college.
Air Force guys are all snobs.
And then go ahead and get that law degree. All right.
Oh man.
Now,
like
how do
that's
they
funny,
fall?
man.
Right?
Okay.
Later.
Hey, Hey guys, I love y'all. Much respect. Yo, we're gonna be in touch for sure.
Okay.
And of course, everyone else, we're gonna be in touch as well. But hey,
All
man,
right. It's been fun. And then so
It's been
do we
fun.
want to schedule another conversation after 6 drops?
Yeah, it's up to y'all. We
Let's do
always, game.
All right,
let's
cool.
do it so we can really talk about it.
So it comes
6
out. Does it
drops,
come out
so
next week
6
or the week
drops on
after?
the 10th, correct?
No, it comes out
Yeah.
next week.
Next
On
week.
the 10th. So why don't we shoot for the 19th?
I bet.
Cool.
Cool, Patrick?
That's the weekend before Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm
Weekend
cool
before
with that.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
I
So
bet.
we'll shoot for the 19th so we can really talk about issue number 6, which has not yet dropped, but will be coming out on the 10th, and that there's a variant cover created by the great Willie Cordy. Yes?
Yes.
That's
And that'll
great.
give Brian enough time to watch the movie.
Yes.
I'm
I
going right
encourage
now.
everyone
I'm going
to get
right.
issue number 6 of Black Cotton, but especially get this variant that's up on your screen right now.
Yes.
It's only limited to 250 copies. It is ultra limited edition. Get it now because, look, if this pops up on a Key Collector, CGC, or whatever, you ain't gonna be able to find it. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I got
Yeah,
my
fine.
copies. I got my copies.
Right.
I got my copy. Get it while you can. That's all I'm gonna say. I've warned you. You got the warning.
Right.
Get it while you can.
So Patrick, have you seen?
It's gonna be gone.
Holla at
All
you
right.
later, Brian. Willie,
All right,
have you
peace,
seen
guys.
Heart of They Fall?
Black guy, bro.
Oh yeah, I
Black
watched
Cotton,
it. I
Black
watched it in the
Cotton,
morning
y'all.
when it
Black
came
Cotton.
up.
All right,
Black
cool.
Cotton.
Peace.
Peace.
Patrick, you've seen
Uh-huh.
The Heart of They Fall, yes?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What did you think?
Oh, I'm telling you, man, it warmed my heart. Going
Yeah.
back to something that Paul was saying earlier was my dad, he's Western still, every time I go visit him, he got Western on the done screen. But what I love is how deep the collaboration with so many stars in one movie, black stars
Yeah.
in one movie.
Good black stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see they all put the work in
Yeah.
because the accents were the way Regina King was talking.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. I was somewhat put off by her accent because I didn't know what she was going for. Now look, I understand, Patrick, that you are in love with Regina King. With all due respect to your wife, I understand that, okay? But watching that movie as a movie buff, as a movie fan, I was somewhat kind of confused as to what she was going for.
She sounded like she was
with
she
the
was from
accent that she
Louisiana.
had. I didn't quite understand it.
She sounded like
it-
she's from Louisiana. It's like
it was really a Southern, you could tell almost it was she didn't want to sound too educated, and it was
or a Gullah from
country
South
slang.
Carolina.
You said what?
I said or a Gullah from South Carolina. That's what her accent kind of reminded me
Right.
of.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was
love
weird.
the brutalness.
Yes.
Yeah. It didn't pull no
Dion
punches.
Cole.
Oh
Dion
man.
Cole is in this movie.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Dion Cole is in the series Blackish. He is also a comedian who's got a special on Netflix.
Yeah.
Dude is funny. I didn't realize how funny he was until I saw his Netflix special.
Yo.
All I knew Dion Cole from was the Blackish series.
Right.
He's a funny dude.
I'm
But
gonna
in
tell
the
you.
Yeah, but in the movie, he plays more of a serious role. I wasn't accustomed to that from him.
Right.
And he was pretty good, man. He was pretty good. For those who don't know, The Harder They Fall is a fictional story that involves real life black characters or black people. Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was
And
phenomenal.
the other thing that's wonderful about the movie is not only does it involve real life black characters, but it talked about or it displayed something that is not talked about enough, which is the fact that blacks made up a huge portion of the Old West.
Right.
I mean, I was reading this article. It talked about even the term cowboys. They
It's a
refer
racist term because
it's a racist term because that's what they used to refer to black men
black people
as
who worked
boys.
around cows and stuff.
And it's like it's the most obvious thing. Like they weren't calling white men back in the day cowboys. They were calling us cowboys. That term cowboys comes from us because black cowboys made up the West. That's where the slaves from the South tried to escape and try to start a new life by going out west. That's something that's not talked about.
Right.
These people exist.
Well,
a
the
real
whole
life
term of cowboys.
superhero was in this movie. Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves, who is the basis for many of the old heroes you see in the West, specifically the Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the Lone Ranger is based on Bass Reeves, who's in this movie.
Yeah, played by Delroy Lindo.
Perfect casting.
I won't disagree. There's a movie, I don't know if it's on Hulu, Netflix, or what streaming service, with David Gyasi called Hell on the Border, I think it is, about Bass Reeves. I say that to say this. Don't watch that movie. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
watch The Harder They Fall. That's a better version.
No. Listen, the movie Hell on the Border is about Bass Reeves, and it stars David Gyasi, who is a very good actor. I want to say he's a Brit, but he's a very good actor. But the movie itself was just goddamn awful. It was just
very, very low production value.
I mean, they probably put like $296 into the production of this movie. It's just bad. But Delroy Lindo played this role of that person who is a real life person in a very believable and relatable way. And it was very, very good. In fact, Kevin Grievous, the brother who created Black Marvel, has an ongoing series about Bass Reeves. It's out there.
Issue 4 is issue 4 it's up to now?
3 or 4. I don't know what issue it is.
3 or 4.
And I'm missing most of them. I have one issue of that series, and you can find them at Walmart for the ongoing thing. But Bass Reeves is a real life person from history. And my man Delroy Lindo plays him.
Yeah.
Every person that you see in this movie, all the black characters, are based on real life people. Now, there was a controversy on social media because what's her name? Zazie Betts?
Zazie Beetz. Zazie Beetz.
Right. Zazie Beetz plays this character, this person called Stagecoach Mary. Stagecoach Mary was not light-skinned. She was not slim. She was not traditionally considered a quote-unquote pretty woman the way Zazie was. But there was some controversy because of the fact that the actress that they have played this role does not look like the real person. Outside of that, everybody else that they cast, Jonathan Majors, Lakeith Stansfield, Regina King, Idris Elba, all of these people are phenomenal actors and actresses who did a wonderful job. And Zazie did a great job. But it somewhat detracts from the overall production because she does not look like that person. One of the people who was fan cast in that role was the young lady who plays in Loki, who also played in Lovecraft Country. Her name is Wunmi something. I can't remember.
Yeah, she would have been a better choice to play that character.
Not necessarily from an actress standpoint, but she is a very, very good actress. More from accurate. An actress standpoint and from a physical representation of the real life person, she would have been a better choice for that role. Her name is Wunmi something. I'll give you that name in a minute. Go ahead, Paul.
They should have used Octavia.
Octavia is older. Octavia, I love Octavia.
She looks like she could have been John Majors.
You said Octavia, and I'm thinking, what's my
You're thinking about old girl from How to Get Away with Murder.
Yes. What's her name?
Oh, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Yes. You said Olivia. I'm thinking Viola Davis.
He's talking about the Oscar award-winning Octavia
Spencer.
Yeah,
Spencer, thank you.
from The Help. Yeah.
The Help.
With all
Yes.
due respect to her, no.
She's a
No.
little too old for the role.
Yeah.
I agree with Mark that the Lovecraft Country actress would have been a perfect choice for that role in terms of looking like the original character.
She's
That being
attractive.
said, I love Zazie Beetz. I love her as an actress. She did a fine job. She just didn't look like the original character. But
Right.
if you had never known what the original people look like,
Then
it doesn't
you have
detract
no
from the
problem.
story at all.
The actress who I'm talking about, her name is Wunmi Mosaku. Okay. She plays in Loki. She's the chick who
The head TVA agent.
Right,
Yeah.
right. She was also in Lovecraft Country, who was the sister of what's my girl's name?
Hattie fucking Lewis.
Yes, she was a sister of her, the dark-skinned sister who's kind of heavy set or whatever. But she would have been perfect in this role. Zazie did a phenomenal job. I'm not gonna lie. She did a great job, but she does not look like the real life person.
I want to watch this movie again so bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I really enjoyed this film. All I can think about, and this is probably getting too personal. All I can think about is how I wish I could have watched this movie with my dad, because this is a movie he would have gone nuts for.
Right.
Here's what's crazy about that movie. This is a blackety black movie. The first white person shows up 15, 20 minutes into the movie. Okay. And then that person is immediately dispatched with.
I mean, it was so nice too. I hate to say it.
What are you doing? That's not how you stop a train, you damn.
You could have said nincompoop. I ain't nothing that starts with the word N.
Well, we ain't nincompoops either. Yeah.
The only movie that I've seen that gave me this type of I guess a joy or satisfaction was taking my movie back to Buck and the Preacher with Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte. So you gotta watch that. If you ain't seen that,
that's classic. That is absolutely classic.
So
wait, who's the female lead in that?
Oh, what's her name? She used to be in a lot of movies with Ozzie Davis. I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Ruby Dee?
Ruby Dee.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ruby Dee back in the day was fine. Ruby Dee was fine. You know who she looks like? Taraji P. Henson. Look at Taraji P. Henson.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Tell me they don't look
alike. I will agree with you on that. Ruby Dee back in the day looks a lot like Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah. Now if they do a movie on Ruby Dee, they need to get Taraji to play that part. I'm telling you.
For real. Yeah. For real. So fellas, have you all seen the movie Posse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes way back.
So compare Posse to The Harder They Fall. That's like almost an unfair question.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. I would probably have to go back and watch Posse, but The Harder They Fall, I can't see myself forgetting this, like I've forgotten Posse.
Well, see, it's because you have Mario Van Peebles in Posse, and then, to be honest, Hollywood washed it down. They did a lot of that stuff. They washed it down in a lot of these older movies, so.
Yeah.
But
I mean, The Harder They Fall just went so hard.
The only negative thing I could say about The Harder They Fall is that I liked all of these characters so much. I did not like seeing them go up against each other, because you kind of you liked both sides. It's like, I want both sides to win.
Yeah.
And you have these two gangs going up against each other, and it's like, damn, can't y'all just team up and go back to that town where they stole from the bank?
Oh, the White Town?
Yeah.
It's a white town.
Go back to that town. Why can't we all join forces and just steal the money out of that town together?
That was
hilarious. Go save the black town with that money.
People, it's real people. None of it was a real act.
Look, this movie needs to have either a prequel or a sequel. It's set up for a sequel.
Right, it's set up.
Look at the end.
And I said it too. I told my wife, I said, I don't think she killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nate Love did his own movie anyways.
Yeah. I mean, they're maybe they could do a prequel.
You mean
of like,
Nathaniel Buck?
I want to see these characters again, man. I mean, I need to see a prequel of this movie.
Yeah.
Where you see where Nat Love is trying to track down Rufus Buck, and where they might have first encountered each other. I need a prequel to this movie, man. These characters were just
the way they ended this movie is like they could have a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Without
They will.
without any
oh,
spoilers,
they
for those who haven't
definitely
seen
they
it.
set it up for a sequel. They
Yeah,
set it
the
up.
way that it ended is set up for a sequel.
What I was saying that this movie would have done well with having a prequel too, because there's a lot of backstory that you can clearly tell that exists.
Right.
Because they had all known each other. They all met each other. Like when they showed up, they're like, "Oh, hey Nat, nice to see you again." You know, there's a backstory there that could be told in a prequel. I really hope
they still can make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm not familiar with this director at all, but listen,
Never heard of him.
he did a wonderful job. One of the scenes that sticks out to me is when Lakeith Stanfield character is facing off against that young dude who he was the standout role with Jonathan Major's group, whatever that crew is. He was the standout actor in that. He's the very young gun who thinks he's fast or whatever. There was a scene that I have never seen in movies before, and I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of TV, but basically it's an overhead shot, and you don't see the actors interacting with each other. All you see is their shadows, and that was a phenomenal shot, and I really love.
One of the things I really like, you mentioned Lakeith Stanfield. For me, that was one of the most breakout actors in this movie.
Yeah.
His role reminded me and touched me in a way that Doc Holliday did in the movie Tombstone.
Gotcha.
You know, he was that type of character where every time he was on screen and every line he said, you followed that. And you were like, the dude was just electric. He's a scene stealer.
Well, the kid who, for me, the person who was more of a scene stealer is a young actor by the name of R.J. Cyler, Cyler. He was the one who was part of Jonathan Major's crew. I guess that was what was the name of that gang? The
Cherokee. No, the Crimson.
No, not the Crimson folks.
Nat Love's group.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So the Matt Love gang. Okay, he was part of the Matt Love gang. He was the one who was the very fast gunslinger. Very young.
Buckworth or something, I think.
His name was R.J. Cyler.
No, I'm saying the character. The character's name.
Right. But I'm saying the real life person is named R.J. Cyler.
Gotcha.
He was a very good actor.
Oh yeah.
To me, he was the breakout star of this movie because I've never seen this kid before, but every time he was on screen, I paid attention to him. Okay. I hope nothing but the best for him.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a lot going for him.
What's each of your favorite scenes? And I'll start. My favorite scene was on the train.
Oh yeah. Oh.
That train scene.
But which part?
Where Idris is coming out.
That's a good question. That's a good question, Patrick. Because when Lakeith Stanfield like, I abhor violence. I really try to avoid violence as much as possible. But unfortunately for you, all of the guys behind me, they very much like violence.
Yeah.
We cut some legs, pop.
Remember Regina King
and then at the end of that scene,
before
Rufus Buck was like, everybody but the kid, and like bodies are just getting shot left and right.
That was the moment for me.
Yeah.
He was like, who can drive the train? Everybody but him.
They already shot him.
And that walk was, man.
Slow motion.
Yeah.
With the music playing,
the direction of this movie reminded me a lot of Quentin Tarantino and Sergio Leone.
Yeah.
I thought it was Quentin Tarantino at the beginning because how he loves that old style. The blood splatter, and I was like, is this Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Like what Mark said, man, this director, I don't know who this cat is. I've never heard of him before. I need to research him, but that he looked, I think that was an accurate depiction, Mark. he mixed the two styles of Sergio Leone and Quentin Tarantino, which you have the Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood films mixed with Django Unchained together. That's what this movie was. It was a merging of those two styles, and it was brilliantly done.
The director's name is
James
Jeymes Samuel.
Yeah.
I ain't like when the young
and
brother got shot in the face,
Jay-Z was
though.
a producer of this movie.
Yeah.
Who?
The thing
Jay-Z.
you like? What'd you
Huh?
say,
John
Willie?
Carter.
The shine in the face?
I said I ain't like when the young brother got shot in the face counting.
Whoa, whoa,
stuff. I ain't
whoa,
like
whoa,
that.
whoa, no
knew he
spoilers,
was
no
gonna
spoilers,
get
no spoilers, no
shot.
spoilers, no spoilers.
He didn't say which young brother.
No spoilers, but
You
yeah.
said no spoilers.
We've been talking about this
It's
movie.
too
the whole
late
time.
now.
It's too late now, right?
We had already talked about Regina, you know it.
Well, I mean, these are
We
people
spoiled
that
the
we
whole
know
movie.
are in it. Yeah.
But yo, that scene right there, I was like, this fool. I guarantee he gonna get shot before he get the countdown.
That was, that part that you're talking about, wherever that is in the movie, that was pretty much annoying.
Oh
But
my God!
I
When
was mad. I was like,
Lakeith was like, man, we just be counting so slow all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the best. That brother had the best lines in the movie, man.
Yeah.
Very good movie. That was a very good movie. If anybody's still with us, if you have not seen The Harder They Fall, it is in, I'm a huge movie fan. I'm a movie buff. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV shows. This is one of my top 10 movies of 2021, and it ain't 10. It is definitely top 5.
Yeah.
It's up there for me with Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, that was wow.
Yeah, right. And Lakeith Stanfield was in that as well. It is a phenomenal watch. If you've not seen it, tomorrow or Saturday, watch that movie. It is a great movie.
I'm gonna tell you something. Go back to something that you said about Dion Cole. So me and my wife, we love comedy.
Yeah.
And we knew about Dion Cole and Blackish, and we watched because he used to host. It used to it was like a low budget. It was the Martin Lawrence. Like Def Comedy Jam. Right. It was like Def Comedy Jam, but it was by Martin Lawrence. And he used to host, he was one of the hosts, on that. But he wasn't funny. I was like, damn, man, I don't know. But what I would tell you, you see it. He put the work in for that special.
Yeah.
He tells you he took 2 years to put that thing together.
Yeah.
And it is phenomenal. It is one of I got 3 things downloaded on my Netflix, account that I keep renewing. It's the Dion Cole special because it's that good. I mean, the transition and everything. He's funny as hell.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle, The Closer and Sticks and Stones.
Yeah.
You if you have not seen those 3 comedy stand-ups, then you are missing out because they are phenomenal. It is truly masterpieces. Dion Cole, hey, kudos. He did the damn thing on that one. And the GOAT, Dave Chappelle, I mean, you just can't. You have to watch it multiple times because it's like one of those shows where you watch it, then you go watch it again, and you catch things that he did. It's just pure genius, masterpiece.
Yeah. As Dion Cole said, slap.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, that was good.
What did he say? He says that mouth of yours. See, that's why you won't prosper in life.
For those who are with us and who are watching, the Dion Cole special on Netflix. Don't know the name of it, but just put in Dion Cole. He's only got one. It is very, very funny. I was surprised because, as I said, all I knew him from was Blackish, and he played a more serious role in this movie. I have nothing but good things to say about this movie. I tweeted out about 2-3 months ago that Jonathan Majors, who plays Kang in Loki, or the one, whatever role he plays in Loki, and the MCU, who's the major star in this movie, Jonathan Majors within the next 5 years is going to win an Oscar. I don't know for what role.
Yeah, he's a big.
But that dude is a great actor.
And he's going to be in the next Creed 3.
Yeah.
He's going to, and apparently he's going to be the nemesis in that movie.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is. Jonathan Majors is going to be the next big thing.
Now, let me say this. There was a movie called Five Bloods that was directed by my Morehouse brother, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
That came out about a year or so ago. And I thought that it was the last appearance of Chadwick Boseman, not knowing about
one with Viola Davis.
Not knowing that movie existed. I started watching Five Bloods, and that was the very first time that I ever seen Jonathan Majors on screen.
Wasn't that Spike Lee?
Yes, it was a Spike Lee movie. It was a Spike Lee joint. I stopped the movie 45 minutes in because I just thought it was a bad movie. I just did not enjoy that movie. And there was a part in it that was supposed to be serious that I just busted out laughing in. And I'm like, you know what? I can't continue to watch this, even though it is a Spike Lee joint or whatever. But it just was, to me, bad. But because Jonathan Majors was in it, because Delroy Lindo was in it, I may go and give it another watch. But Jonathan Majors, after watching him in Lovecraft Country, after watching him in this movie, and after watching him in Loki, that dude is poised for greatness. Jonathan, listen to what I'm telling you. It is 2021. By 2026, Jonathan Majors will be nominated for and win an Oscar for something. I don't know for what, but that dude is a phenomenal talent. I
almost in a way wish they had not wasted him as Kang in the MCU and given him an actual lead role as a superhero. There's a lot of heroes he could play. It'd be phenomenal if they gave him the role of either, I was gonna say Brother Voodoo, but certainly Adam Brashear, the Blue Marvel. I mean, this guy is such a great talent, I have nothing but good things to say about that brother. I mean, I love Lovecraft Country. Right. I think he's gonna be a tremendous talent in the future.
Yeah. And going back to Five Bloods, I'm with you on it. I didn't finish it.
Neither did I.
But my wife did. My
wife.
Willie.
Hold on a second. Willie, you didn't finish it either? It was bad.
But here's what I'll say. My wife. What'd you say, Willie?
It was moving too slow for me.
Right. And my wife. Here's what I'll say. It also, I was like, what the hell are they thinking? That was a big thing for me, but my wife, she said, had a nice twist at the end. So I would say if you can fight through and get to the end, you might, be at least, hey, a cool twist.
But see, that's the thing with movies, we shouldn't have to quote unquote fight through.
Correct.
The narrative of the story should engage us to the point that we want to see what comes next.
Right.
There was a point, without giving any spoilers, there was a point that was supposed to be a poignant, serious plot point in the movie that I just busted out laughing. And I'm like, okay, this is just horrible. Yeah. And again, I'm a Spike Lee fan. Morehouse brother, going back to school days and Do the Right Thing, blah, blah, blah. But this was just, and Chadwick Boseman's what I thought was the last role of his, it just was not a good movie. But with that being said, because of Jonathan Majors and his prominent role in this, I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Cool. Yeah. Also, Dion Cole is called Cold Hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of it. If anybody wants to, go see it, I truly.
I've seen it several times.
Yeah, me too.
He's funny.
I watch it at work.
Did y'all watch that movie called Kill Hole by Chadwick Boseman?
Say it
No, I
again?
haven't heard of that one.
So that's why I was doing a second. I was looking it up. It's on Tubi. It's called The Kill Hole.
The Kill Hole.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
That I wanted to, because since you guys were talking about Chadwick, I was want to make sure you guys knew about all his movies. That was the one I think most people probably didn't know about, but he did a movie in 2012. It's an Iraq vet is forced to pursue one of his own into Pacific North.
Yes, I've heard of that. Yeah, I have heard of that one.
I haven't
I
heard of
haven't
that.
seen
I
it,
haven't
but I've
watched
heard
it
of
yet, but I put it in my list. That's when you guys start talking, I went on, turned it on to Tubi so I can tell you guys to make sure you guys knew what it was.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check
Speaking
that
of
out.
speaking of movies, Patrick, not to put you on the spot, but I think you had mentioned at one point that Black Cotton was in the process of talking about being optioned. Is that still in the works?
See, how you gonna bring that up when Brian leave? You know, I'm the one who slips stuff.
This-
but yeah. but
Oh man.
but I you know we can't talk about stuff like
All right, so I mean, you're still talking about it. You're still
that.
talking about it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I mean, it's
Here's what I'll
important to
say.
know
It's
there's
gonna
a
be
possibility in the future that Black Cotton may be optioned. So I mean, I'm just throwing it
Definitely.
out there.
definitely.
Throwing it out there.
I'm gonna tell you something else we're working on. There's something else that
Do tell.
we working on this horror
Yeah.
that could definitely be optioned even
A horror
quicker than
thing?
Black Kind. Yeah, that joint is fire. Man,
When's that supposed to drop?
that's gonna drop after what we're doing, what me and Brian are doing, because we want people to stay engaged, you know. So we're gonna do volume 2, and then Remember is gonna come out, which is the name of it. And it's a 3-parter. Remember When, and Remember Me. And so it's gonna go volume 2, Remember, volume 3, Remember When, volume 5, you know, the closure for this next story arc we're doing for Black Kind, and then the closure for Remember right behind it.
Okay, so I'll be on the lookout for that, and make sure you drop it down in our spaces.
You know,
And
we
I'll
will.
pick up every issue, including all the Willie Cordy variant editions.
Hey, we got to get Willie, and hopefully this time he'll let us know if we can get the original, you know, because
There you go.
I'm a art collector, so yeah, I got.
Yeah, Willie.
Hit
I
me
mean,
up
we
and
gotta
talk
talk
to
about that Black Cotton 6 original art, man. I gotta go on a payment plan or something. We need to work something out.
Man.
And
Oh,
so you got all these projects coming up. There's plenty of room for more original art. So hit me up. Hey, I told you I have no shame.
yeah. Hey, just a word of news. Shoot, I dropped my I'll be dropping my second CD,
Right.
gospel CD.
Where can the
with
folks
Black
find your
Kind.
music, Patrick? Where can they find your music?
Oh, you can find it on all our platforms. It's on iTunes, it's on CD Baby, it's on Spotify.
What's it called?
Just look up Patrick D. Foreman and Family. But if you just search my name, it'll pop up. You know, shoot, I was blessed to, you know, win an award on my first album, and you know, trying
Congratulations,
to appreciate. Yeah. For He's Able. I couldn't believe it. It was. I was
It's
like, oh,
gospel music, right?
yeah, gospel music. And on this project that's coming out, I'm gonna release it right with Black Kind so that people can get it, you know, together, you know. But on this one, I got Angelica Baylor, who was background vocalist for Genuine. She can blow. I mean, just phenomenal. I met her at a workshop. And she was, you know, they were interviewing her and she sung a song. I was like, man, if I could get her to sing on one of my songs, that'd be great. And this was like a year and a half ago, easy, maybe 2 years ago. And I just walked up to her afterwards and I was like, hey, love for you to sing on one of my songs, you know, sometime in the future. So she gave me her contact stuff. She was like, let's make it happen. Not thinking, you know, I started working on this song, Psalms 117, and I was like, I hear a soloist.
Yeah.
So I hit her up and she was like, yeah, I'll do it. So she killed it.
Have her work on a Black Cotton theme song.
I know. I got Michelle Prather on it.
You gotta have a Black Cotton theme song. I mean, how many comic books have a theme song, man?
I know. I want to do a soundtrack.
Y'all need that Black Cotton animation.
Exactly. That's a whole nother thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man. So yeah, I would love to have all that. You know, that's the future. I think that's what we're gonna be really focusing on once we get the website and everything going. In 2022, we're gonna be looking exactly in that direction. Okay, let's get a soundtrack. Let's get, you know, animation. Let's make all this happen. You know.
All right. Well, fellas, we have been on here for over 2.5 hours.
Oh, it's almost 12 o'clock.
I appreciate all of you. Willie, thank you again for the variant.
Thank you,
Look,
guys.
for everyone who wants to buy, because some people have asked, we will have information on where you can purchase the Black Cotton 6 variant shortly, the next day or two. Just be patient. Patrick, thank you for coming out.
Hey, no problem.
Always a pleasure when you come out, brother.
Anytime.
Yeah, come on down to Hampton Roads.
Hey,
y'all need to
let you
link
know
up,
when
man. Y'all 5 minutes away
I'm
from each
coming
other.
in town, man. We got to swap numbers, definitely.
Okay.
All right, y'all link up, message each other.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about, man. Networking.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I need to
Together,
draw
help
another
each other
picture, a solo cover with Mark on it, so everybody know that it's him alone.
Right, exactly. I like
Holding
that
the
idea.
sword.
I like that idea.
Hey, have him chopping his head off.
Okay, let's not get
Chop
crazy.
his own head off.
Let's not get crazy.
All right, y'all.
Oh, my
Take care. Thank you very
All
much
right.
for coming
Hey,
out.
hold on. So
yeah.
we meet back up on the 19th, right?
Yes, on the
19th to
19th,
review Black
talk about
Cotton
issue
number
6.
6.
Boom. Hey, Willie, pop in if you free, man.
Hit
Boom,
me
boom.
up. I'm here.
Here we
I'm
go.
always here.
9 p.m. Eastern.
And we'll talk about it again. Everybody, thank y'all. You can go anywhere. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Black
I
Cotton.
gotta say too,
Black
I like
Cotton.
that back wall, Paul.
Willie Cordy Originals. Willie Cordy Originals.
Hey, Mark, you gotta put something on your wall back there, man.
Listen, I need something. You right?
Yeah, you do.
Hey,
You look
get
like you're in prison,
get that Ebon print I got.
All right, I'll see about it.
You look like you're in prison. You need to put something behind you.
All right, see y'all later.
All right,
All right.
good to see everybody.
Right.
Black
Be
Cotton.
safe, people.
Black Cotton.